Okay. And we're live, just like that. Let me tilt my computer up a little bit.
All right.
Um,
Now I'll double check through your stuff here.
yeah, your camera looks really nice. I really like how it looks. My
Yeah.
camera, on the other hand, I'm using
I mean,
my laptop's built-in camera just because then it won't die on me.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not the best. I'm hoping to buy one soon, so that I can just like have it clipped onto my laptop and like USB plugged in rather than whatever. Oh, hey Ezra,
As
nice to
Ezra
see
in the
you.
chat.
I didn't know you were live today. I mean, we literally just went live, so
Yeah, yeah.
you are right on time, man. I appreciate you being here. Yeah. I mean, I guess we can kind of get into it a little bit because these live streams tend to do better on rewatch. Anyways, we have been watching the live action DC movies over the last few months, and we have reached the end of like the first batch, in my opinion, of movies. We watched all four Christopher Reeve Superman movies. We watched the Supergirl movie, and we watched the two Swamp Thing movies. And we're gonna talk about it. We got a few tier lists we're gonna do, and then a surprise after we're done with the tier list, which I'm not gonna say too much, but it's exciting. Stay tuned for that. Um, Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna talk about these movies. I think first off, I think it just kind of waiting to get some people in the chat, maybe. Um, and actually, real quick before I answer this, Ezra just put something in the chat. Yeah, Ezra, I saw you've been watching Gotham, and I
Yes.
mean, I've already said it before, but you guys know I love Gotham. That's like my favorite show ever. I just love that show to pieces. So, Ezra, I hope you're enjoying it. I know you're right at the beginning of season two.
I
So,
personally, I am not a show guy at all. I don't watch like any TV shows or whatnot. I think like they take too long or whatever. I don't know. I'd much rather watch a movie than like TV shows. Gotham is one of the only ones that I've watched all the way through. So
yeah, that's
I think
awesome.
it's worth watching.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I totally understand that. I mean, movies, they're less of a time commitment, so I get that.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, Ezra, as I don't know if you saw in the Discord, but Ezra was saying he's on season 2 now. So he just finished season 1.
Mhm.
And oh, he says I'm already watching season 2 and I have 6 episodes left. Dude, Ezra, you have watched all of Supernatural. You watched all of Smallville, and now you're like 2 seasons into Gotham within like a week. How do you
Yeah,
have
it's good.
time to watch all that? I'm very envious. I wish I had that time. I wish I had that time. That'd be so good. Cause I'm so behind on Smallville, Vampire Diaries. Oh, it's so bad. But to be honest with you, the main reasons is trying to catch up on these DC live action movies because they take so long to edit. Um, which we both, for those of you who don't know, we both are editing these videos, and we both can attest they take a decent amount of time to edit.
Yeah, yeah.
And so yeah,
Actually,
trying to get those done is
yeah,
crazy.
I didn't realize this until like we got to the Return of Swamp Thing, but with you doing you did the four Superman movies and then I did like Supergirl and then the two Swamp Thing movies. That means that I did half of them and I didn't realize that.
I know. Yeah, you did. And thank
Yeah, yeah.
goodness you did because otherwise we'd be so far behind.
Yeah, yeah.
Um but yeah, it's been great. I will say, complete honesty, when you and I love that you any movie you want to edit, I am so down. But when you took Return of Swamp Thing, I was kind of jealous. I was like, dang, if there was one of these I wanted to edit, it was that one, because I love that one so much.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I left all the best parts, so I think
Oh no,
if
you did a
anything,
great job on the
yeah,
edit.
if anything you watched all the good stuff and instead of cutting out all of like the dialogue stuff that didn't matter. So,
I think it would have been a harder one for me to edit because I would have been like, dang, I really want to keep this in or
yeah, yeah.
stuff like that. Because I love that one. Um, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, I'm behind on shows right now. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. But trying to catch up on these DC movies and just work stuff has been just insane.
How long
Um,
are the? Because I looked at Ezra's thing. How long are the Gotham episodes? Because I thought they were.
they're 42-minute episodes. I
Are
mean,
they? Oh, okay.
yeah,
Well,
they're
yeah. I guess they're a little shorter than like the hour-long stuff that you get now. But
yeah,
yeah,
that's true. They were.
thought
I
they were
mean, it
still
was a
quite long.
TV
Yeah,
show. It was on television rather than streaming. So,
yeah, yeah. From the
yeah,
first three
shows
seasons.
are
Yeah,
shows are too long nowadays. These episodes that are like
yeah,
hour long episodes, it's just ridiculous.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, it's ridiculous. All right, we're gonna jump into the first tier list. Why waste any more time? Um, all right, let's flip to the next screen. That's the wrong screen. Hold on.
I do have
Here we go.
my tier list of the movies because I wanted to take this time to like readjust stuff because I feel like I needed to clean it up a bit more. So I got like my tier list set up here, which if my camera should flip to it, but we'll do that later here.
Okay. Yeah, wait. What's going on over there on Discord? Something ain't right. Oh, there we
In
go. That
terms
was
of like,
weird. I think I've run into this issue before where when I switch screens on OBS, it messes with Discord for some reason. But no, we're good.
okay.
Um, okay. Sorry. All right. So the first tier list we're gonna do is the movies, just the movies in general. So we got a few tiers here. We got dumpster fire, which is the bottom tier. We have the not good tier. We have the mid tier. We have the good tier, and we have the super tier. Which there we go. So I think we just go in. Oh, what just happened? It happened again. Oh, that's gonna be so annoying.
Well, I'm still here. I don't know if that
I know
is
it's
that
it.
because I'm technically on OBS is where I'm taking my video from and pumping it into Discord. Is that something?
No, because I think this has
Okay.
happened before for me with other people. It's like when I switch screens, it like messes with OBS. I don't know why.
Okay.
Um, oh, Ezra
Yeah. Well.
says, in my opinion, I
Yeah.
enjoyed Superman 2 a lot. Well, Ezra, which version of Superman 2 did you watch? The director's cut or the theatrical? Because I think the
That,
director's cut is really good. I think the theatrical cut is,
that,
well, we'll
that we
get to it here
watched.
in a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I think we go in order. I think we start with Superman. Yeah, I mean, I love Superman, the first one. I think,
Yep.
and after watching these again, I mean, this is a little spoilers for my thoughts on the other Superman movies, but it's insane to me the quality level of that first one compared to 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a drop. It's such a drop. And it never comes back to that height that the first
Mhm.
one was, in my opinion. But, yeah. What do you think about Superman 1?
Um. Well, originally I had it up as like 8 on. I think for our rating we had it up on 8, and I think it's like a good classic superhero movie where like the rest of them we'll get to the issues with the rest, but I think just the story of like the wait, oh god, the intro story, what's it called, backstory,
Yeah.
Superman's backstory leading up to like him being Superman, and then all that stuff. There wasn't any fight scenes in that, which again is like maybe depending on what you want from a superhero movie could be like yeah whatever, but it works because it's like he's saving people and he's like doing stuff, so it's like that's good. Um, Specifically, okay, so also through the comments we got that was our biggest one was the Superman one,
Oh, yeah.
and
I kind of
uh
figured that was going to be the case out of this
yeah, yeah.
group.
And I remember reading one of the comments that said, well, because one of our complaints during it, or my complaint, I think specifically, was that I keep blanking on the specific name, but the backstory for him was like too short, kind of. When technically, I looked at one of the comments that said, well, technically it's 1/3 of the movie, and I was like, what? And then I looked through and it was like, oh yeah, it's like a good majority of the movie. I was like, I didn't realize that, but yeah. So, which is also a benefit of like looking at people's stuff and seeing what they say, because I looked at that and I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. I did. Whoops.
Yeah, we got quite a lot of comments on Superman 1, which by the way, I mean we talked about I responded to comments as much as I could, but I don't know what you guys were watching, those of you who commented, but we did not hate this movie. Like most of
Yeah.
the reaction were like praising it and how great it
I think
looks and stuff. I
I
don't
will say
know
at
like
the start, I very much did get the impression that
oh, I
I was
think
just talking crap on the movie. So I understood that. But oh, is my Discord going out? My Discord
it
might be
was
going
kind
out.
of yeah, it was kind of like freezing and unfreezing and stuff.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was talking crap, I think, at the beginning of the movie. I was like looking through with the parts that was left in, and I was like, oh, yeah. Like I kind of saw that. But I think part of it was well, me doing the reaction stuff. I want to make fun of the stuff to make jokes during it, so it's different.
Well, people also don't probably realize this, but that was your first reaction video ever. So, like, it was also something you hadn't done before, you know? And
Yeah, yeah.
so, yeah. Ezra says Superman 1 is the second best movie, and Superman 2 is my first favorite. That's
Yeah.
interesting, because even for the
I think
director's cut of Superman 2, I prefer Superman 1.
I think I
But
remember you
fair,
saying
fair
that on
enough.
Discord. Yeah, yeah.
And then he also says, wait, there were people saying that you guys hated the first. Yeah, Ezra, people were saying we hated it, but
Yeah.
we both gave it great scores. Most of the
I think
reaction were like, oh, that looks so good. Like, oh, I love this. Oh, that's great.
I do specifically remember you though, outside of the recording and whatnot, that you said you wanted to, or like you tried to edit out the stuff specifically where we were just like, oh, that looks good, because that's all we would say for that moment. And so,
I think
right?
it was more like cutting down, leaving in the parts where we actually gave feedback or whatever. But like, well,
Yeah,
obviously, if it was a moment where all we said was, "Oh, that's good," I couldn't
yeah,
just keep that in unless we
right, yeah,
had
yeah.
more to say about it. But you
Well,
know,
when people have negative things to say, I think they have more things to say about it. So naturally, there was more negative things. But also, one of the complaints was like, I don't know, like how the suits were too bright at the beginning. Because at the beginning, they were wearing like those tinfoil suits that like shone the light back out, and it was like that's kind of an interesting choice.
right, right. Which, to be fair, I mean, yeah, the movie ages very well in certain
That's,
aspects, and in certain aspects it maybe doesn't. And I think it's, I thought everything we said was justifiable. Like, I think we had some
yeah,
good criticisms. I think they're fair. I mean, I get people defending it because they love the movie, and I love the movie too, but, you know, it's a commentary. It'd be boring if the whole commentary is just us being like, yeah, it's great. That's it.
plus, I think we balanced it, or at least I try to balance it out, where the reaction part is maybe poking fun at like the stupid little goofs that they have in there or stuff that doesn't make any sense. And then, like at the end, we actually talk about the movie and what we liked about it. So
Unfortunately,
that's kind
nobody
of,
watches the
you know,
outros normally.
right. Yeah, yeah. Which is where we said, oh, yeah, I give it an 8.
Exactly. I know. So it is
I
what it
just,
is.
Ezra, by the way, I just don't like the part where Lex was wearing a wig on his head. I'm gonna be honest. I looked at the poster. One of the posters, I think, like the DVD box art for Superman 1 shows like Superman at the top, and then like three of the characters at the bottom, like Lois Lane. I think Jimmy is on that cover, and then Lex, and Lex is bald on that cover,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
he's not bald until the end of the movie. So I don't get why they put that on the box cover. But yeah,
Clickbait.
that was part of it as well. Was like, I think I made that comment during that movie. It was just like,
Yeah, I'm not a
that's
huge
the
fan
cool
of the
thing.
wig either. Well, actually, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, yeah, I think the whole reason they put him on the cover with, the bald head was because that's what he looked like in the comics. So they were like,
Yeah.
well, let's put that on the poster. But anyways, so Superman 1, love the movie. I think it's a great movie. Out of all these movies on here, it's the only one that I think is genuinely like a really good movie personally. There's another one on this list that I definitely would rewatch and I think is really good. But well, we'll get to that one. That's the last one we'll talk about. So, but yeah, Superman 1 for me, I want to put it in the super tier. Um, but what are your thoughts on the tier? What tier would you put Superman 1 in?
Yeah, I'd probably put it in the same spot. At least looking at your list there. Uh, at least in terms of the rating of like the numbers, because I got that up here of like just so I could visualize it for myself. Um, Superman 1 was like an 8 for me. And I was like, yeah, there's some stuff that even like looking through the comments, there was like being justified with
Oh, heads up, Dakota, you just
stuff. I was like,
froze.
oh, it's actually, and also not that bad. Okay. And then also in terms of the stuff after, like what we've seen after is like, yeah, Superman's definitely one of the better ones out of all of them. So it's like,
Arguably
uh,
for me, I mean, not to spoil what I'm thinking too much, but I do think for me, Superman and Return of Swamp Thing. I mean, those are the only two on this list that I would genuinely love watching again. I mean, and the director's cut of Superman 2, but right now on our list is the theatrical cut. And so out of all those, I think that one's pretty close for me of like, would I rewatch Superman 2 theatrical? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not against it. I'm not for it necessarily. Where and then Swamp Thing, Superman 3, Supergirl, and Superman 4, I'm kind of like, I'm done. But
right.
Superman 1 and Return of Swamp Thing, I had a blast reacting to. And yeah, I really enjoyed those two. So Superman, we're going to throw in the super tier. I feel like that just makes sense.
As we're mentioning got the Batman 2022 movie. Pretty neat. I think that was the one. I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but I'll possibly get one of my brothers to get in and watch that. That's
Oh,
one of the
no, I
movies they want
didn't.
to watch.
I don't think you told me that. Or if you did, I just don't remember that. But that's okay. Yeah, sounds good.
That's also way down the line though, so we'll
Oh,
see.
yeah, that is
Things
way
could
down the line.
change.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, cool. Moving on. So Superman's in the super tier now. The theatrical cut of Superman 2, and I'm gonna be honest, this might be one of the hardest ones for me because I like a lot of it, and then there's just certain parts I don't like. Like the biggest negatives that come to mind, obviously the kiss at the end that makes her forget. That's a big
Yes.
criticism I have. Um, I don't know. Maybe Superman giving up his powers so easily and like quickly, and then
Yeah.
almost instantly going like, nope, I need to be Superman again. I feel like there's that too that kind of bugs me. But other than that, I really have a fun time with this movie. I think Zod and Ursa and Non, I think, are fun
Yes.
villains. Love having Lex back.
True.
Otis was done dirty. Otis was
Yep.
done so dirty at the beginning of this movie.
And that's his final part in the movie. He's not in any of the other movies now.
And that
He,
is
he
the
was
most...
left at the jail, and then that was it. That's it for him.
So annoying. I hate that so much. Like, he never comes back. That's
Yeah.
so peak. Otis was done so dirty. And
More of the DC
nice,
movies,
Ezra. I mean, I don't know which ones you're planning to get. I know a lot of them are like... Unfortunately, there's a lot that aren't very good, but there's a lot that are good, too.
Well, specifically on DVD, yeah, I don't know what you could get, but I mean, like, we're going through a lot of the live action stuff, so it's just if there's anything that seems interesting when it pops up for Blake on his videos, and just be like, oh, I can watch that.
This is true. This is true. And, I mean, yeah.
Specifically, yeah, like Swamp Thing's pretty good. Like, if you want like a weird, like,
Debatable.
some type of DC movies, then yeah.
Yeah. So Superman 2 again, I think there's a lot of fun to be had there with Superman 2. I really enjoy when Christopher Reeve's Clark is still amazing.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
I love the stuff where Clark is, I mean, even though I complained a second ago about him quickly going back to being Superman after turning into Clark full time, I do like him kind of, the bar scene with that guy who's like hitting on Lois and he tries to stand up to him. Like, I think that's a fun scene. I love the opening in Paris when Superman comes in to save Lois from
Yeah,
at the Eiffel Tower. I think that was fun.
but I mean Lois. It was kind of weird because I remember Lois in that scene like doing stupid stuff to get to that situation.
She's
First,
underneath
like
the elevator.
yeah, first like planning to like. Well, she tricks one of the guards at the start as well, so it's like the guard's dumb, and then she has to go up to the elevator, and it's like, what are you planning on doing once you get up to the terrorists up at the top? What do you think is going to happen? I don't know.
I
It's just
know, I know. And
although
also, speaking of the guard, all she did was give him a translation book. And he was like,
yeah,
"Oh, let me sit down and read this."
yeah.
Like, what?
But
Uh
like yeah, the other stuff around that was like Superman like catching the falling elevator and then like going up. Yeah, all that stuff was, and that of course that also led to Zod getting out, right? Because he took the bomb that was up there and threw it in the air, which broke the Phantom Zone. So you needed the scene, but it's just like I don't know. There's just some other stuff about that part where it's just like I don't.
Yeah, I also, and maybe I'm wrong in your, I don't know what your opinion is on this, but I also think Lex is actually better in this movie, in a way. I think because
Yeah.
taking Otis out and taking Miss Tessmacher out and having him play that in between Superman and Zod character,
Hmm.
I think he actually gets a lot of fun time on screen to shine. He's just kind of hamming it up and like, I'm Lex Luthor, don't kill me, And then like the scene where they're at the president in the Oval Office, and then he like
Yeah.
puts his feet up
The
on the
fact.
desk and all that.
Well, that scene was also good in general. Like again, it's not all fight scenes and whatnot, but him like looking at Zod in the eyes and being like, "No, I have information or like stuff you want. So if you want that stuff, you need to like get on my level." To the
Yep.
point where yeah, it was so good. Like, because I remember Zod was sitting in the presidential chair or whatever,
Hmm.
and then by the end of the scene, it was Lex. Like he charismaed or like talked his way into now becoming the president. It was just like that is so good for Lex. Oh my god.
I know. I think Lex is so great in Superman 2. I think I love him in Superman 1, but I will be honest, I think him and Otis just have such a good back and forth in that first one that it's really shared between
Yes.
the two of them. Where in this one, because you remove Otis, you really just let Lex kind of shine,
Yeah, that's true.
which is great in my opinion. And I also liked Zod in the group, and I think the fight scenes are actually pretty decent. I think they're actually not bad in this
Yeah.
one. I think some of them went on for a little too long, like when they're using their super breath and stuff. I think that goes a little
Oh
too
yeah.
long, but I
There.
also really love the scene where Zod and the other two go to that small town. You know what I'm
Hmm.
talking about? And like they go into the bar, and Ursa arm wrestles the guy and like chucks him through the table, and they start like blowing things up. I thought that was a lot of fun. I really
Yeah.
enjoy that scene. I like the destruction. I like the effects in this one. I think they're still pretty solid. They're not as good as the first movie, but I think it's
Yeah.
still pretty good.
I thought there was something I wanted to say, but I forgot. What? Yeah, Zod and the rest. Oh, during the city fight, I think we like looked at it and we were like, "That's not necessary." Because from where they were in the plot, Superman was at the Fortress of Solitude, getting his powers back, and then Zod was eventually going to end up there. From Lex being like, "Oh, I know where Superman's home is," and then
Right.
like we
Yeah.
had that scene in between with the city where it was Superman came into like if you I think if you watch well again it's the theatrical cut so maybe there was some weird stuff but it was like in between those Superman suddenly got his powers where we were in a fight and then they had a Superman ran away by the end and then they eventually had to go to the Phantom Zone to do the or if not Phantom Zone Fortress of Solitude to like
Right.
do that stuff so it was like it kind of didn't fit during that and I was like although the fight was that was like the major fight I'd say was like in the city everything getting destroyed and whatnot but it was kind of like I don't know it was weird how it didn't fit with the story.
Right. Which there's another. I mean, we'll get to Superman 4 here in a little, but I also kind of like to compare the Zod fight here with the Nuclear Man fight in the city there, and it's just
Mhm.
night and day. Like the one with Zod is so much better than the Nuclear Man fight in the city, in my opinion. Like, what really happens in the Nuclear Man fight is he raises some people up in the air, Superman brings them back down, and then they just kind of like what, fly away? No, he traps him in the elevator and then flies him to the moon. Where in this, like, we get a
Yeah.
full fight with Zod. Like, I just think it's so much more fun. I think it's better shot. I think it's better choreographed. I think it's just better in general. I also love the way Superman beats them in the end, where he reverses the thing because he knows Lex will betray him. So he tells Lex, here's the plan, convince them to get in the machine and whatever. So Lex betrays him, and then boom, he wins because they lose their powers. I love that. And Lex is just, I don't know. I love that final scene. I think that's great.
That's the only good thing by the end. And then after that, it was downhill after that moment. Because then it was Superman throws Zod and the gang into the pit, the Fortress of Solitude pit. And I was like, okay, I guess they're just dead now. Right. And then he leaves Lex behind. It flies off with Lois. And then that's when you get the kiss at the end that reverses everything.
Right.
It was just like, yes, okay, actually outsmarting the villain, which is, like I said with the fight scenes, it's not specifically the fight scenes that make the scene good. It's just like these different ways to like solve the problems, and then it just went.
Because I really do think, and I know that the director's cut doesn't have the kiss. It has something worse.
Yeah.
I mean, it has something just as bad in my opinion because he just reverses time again. But like, if you ended the movie a bit better after he beats Zod, I actually think it's pretty good. Like, I actually think it's a solid sequel. I do think the kiss brings it down quite a decent amount, just because that is the ending, and that's not great. But overall, I think Superman's not bad. I'm kind of tempted, just based on the other movies we have that are gonna go in this tier. I'm kind of wanting to put it in good, but I could also see it being going in mid. But I feel like it's a bit better than mid, because I think there's still really good stuff there. But what do you think?
Originally, I said 5, which is like in the middle. Which I put 5 for Supergirl for a different reason, which is kind of dumb looking back at it. But I'll talk about it when we get to Supergirl. But yeah, it was just like very like in middle of the road. It was like, oh yeah, it's all right. I was like, Superman 1's better if you were to watch anything, and Superman 2, specifically the theatrical cut, has some stuff that's missing. So it's like it's kind of takes you back of like, wait, what just happened? But not as bad as like some of the later stuff as well. So yeah, I'd say it's a little bit better in terms of that, of it being like up. I'm trying to look at your tier list. I remember good. So yeah.
All right, we will throw it in good. Superman.
We got Ezra saying a bunch of stuff as well that we've missed out on. Planning on getting all the live action movies for DC, and then also Ezra being more of a Marvel fan, but like a DC a lot more lately. That's good.
I mean, I understand that, and I'm glad you're willing to give DC a shot. That's awesome, and I understand because I understand the Marvel fandom. I mean, they've been killing it for like so long now. I get it, and you've still got to see Supergirl and the Swamp Thing movies. Gonna be honest with you, you don't have to watch Supergirl. I mean, you can give it a shot, I guess, but
I mean, if you're becoming that DC fan now, you should watch it. Just then you could say like, oh yeah, I've watched it, and like then you can.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. You could
give your thoughts on it whenever it comes up.
That's true. All right, well now we're on to Swamp Thing.
Yeah, are we? Oh dang, okay.
Yes, we are. That was the third movie. All right, I'm gonna let you take this one first because this is gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest. This is the one where it confuses me with your opinions. I don't see what you see at all. Because like what I would mention points of it, I think during the video I remember like I would mention points of it being like, oh yeah, I like how the story was paced out, and like the suit didn't look that bad, and like whatever. Or, I forget the specific points I made, but then like you would say the exact same thing, but then say it's bad actually, and then like not follow up with anything. It was super weird because it's like, yeah, the pacing, I thought it worked well. Everything like fit together, and you were like, it was weird. It's like, what?
Well, I don't know. For me, it just felt very, in my honest opinion, I just felt like it gave off a more of a fan film-esque feeling to it. It just didn't feel very, and I get it, the budget was probably not super high on it. But it just felt very cheap,
Yeah.
very, uh, I don't know, thrown together. I mean, I don't know. It just was kind of boring to me. I mean, I know it was only like an hour and a half, but I personally, it was boring to me. And I mean, I didn't really care for any of the characters. The only character that was somewhat entertaining to me was Jude, just because I really liked his deadpan delivery, which was
Hmm.
really
Yeah.
fun. Um, I personally wasn't a fan of the Swamp Thing design. I think Return of Swamp Thing is a huge improvement on the
Yeah.
design. I just think he looks way cooler there. Um, I think I think the ending is very cheesy with the fight, and that
Yeah, that's funny.
the Party City werewolf mask thing. Um, Cable's not. I mean, she's not a terrible character, but she's okay. I think I remember liking her a little bit because she actually would like fight back and stuff,
Oh yeah.
which was cool. I thought some of the action sequences went on for a little long, like with the boats. That one comes to my mind.
Mm.
I don't know. I just didn't really enjoy it. Like when I think about the redeeming qualities, they're just too far and few, in my opinion. Just off the bat, this is my least favorite of the ones we've seen so far. I really didn't like this one. But I know you loved it, and that's why I was trying to be more like uh positive maybe because I don't know. I didn't want to hate on it
Well,
too much. But yeah, just honestly not a fan of this one. But
yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's just because like the stuff at the end as well. I thought that was fine. Cable's relationship throughout, maybe like the love specifically, was a little bit too fast at the start. But like other than that, I was like, that's fine. And I don't know. I like Swamp Thing as a character in this. I like probably more than Superman because I think I like that darker type of tone and like how people like can write that type of stuff. And so it being like he's a smart scientist that makes this thing that is able to, do this. And they also explain it as well, like the science in it, which I'm like, oh, that's, in universe science. It's like, that's kind of cool. And then when he became Swamp Thing, it was like the slow thing of like, he's in pain and he's like suffering. And like his sister died at the beginning, which by the way, when his sister died at the beginning, like Alec at the start, like him like crying and like being very emotional at the start, it was like, that's very good as well. So it's just like, I don't know. Just everything about it is just, I like it a lot. And as it went on, it kept getting uh, better and better with certain stuff. And you was talking about how long the boat scene is. I just talked about in the last movie they had that fight during the city, specifically not the whole city, but that where they were blowing the air through the whatever.
well, no,
And like,
I know, but the boat scene isn't my biggest criticism. I just found
well, I
the
know, but it's
storyline
just
just I
it's
don't
just
know.
weird how it's just, again, that's part of the thing. It's just it's weird how that is a negative for you now when like there's other instances, I think, in other movies that also, like the movie we just talked about, and it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the other thing is I'm more attached to like Christopher Reeve as Superman than I am with this guy as Swamp Thing, and but also yeah, I again just the way it was kind of shot and edited together, like the transitions. I know it was fun to make fun of them and stuff, but like it bugged me. It kind of took me out of the movie. It made me really feel like I was watching a parody or some kind of
That Okay, that is kind of true, I guess.
fan
Yeah, to
film.
me, I'm like, that's funny. Yeah, that is funny to me. But yeah, I can understand. It's just like, why is it here?
Well,
It's
and
that is
also with Ezra just said, "Wait, isn't there a TV show about something?" Yes, there is, and it's phenomenal. I loved it, and I think that's the other thing. And I was gonna, and you meant as you mentioned a second ago, your one of your favorite things about this movie, at least from what I'm gathering, is you really like the backstory of Alec Holland as Swamp Thing and
Mhm.
the more dramatic side of it, and how it's kind of like an emotional thing of how he's stuck as this swamp creature and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I had where with you, this was the first time you had been exposed to that. I had been exposed to it before, on this Swamp Thing TV show, which in my
Yeah.
opinion does it a million times better. And it's just so much more engaging and heartfelt, where this one wasn't as engaging to me. And so I think that could be it too, as I had seen it before. So seeing it again,
Yeah.
but in a cheaper way,
Mhm.
I think kind of pulled me out of it, and just the characters weren't strong enough in my opinion to attach me to it. And I also didn't like the pacing at the very beginning. I think you're right. I think the pacing throughout most of the movie is okay, but the very beginning where the guy comes in and then rips off that mask and is like, haha, I'm not
Okay.
that guy, I'm this guy. And I'm like, I don't know
Okay.
either of these guys.
I did. Okay. I think I was editing that one, so I watched through. I watched through it again and again and again to
Right.
like kind of like get stuff together. The person that Arcane was trying to imitate was that guy in the beginning in the swamp who was alone on the boat. You know that transition where the guy's on the boat, he pulls out a gun, it rests on his lap, and then it transitions. The guy brings out a snake, and then he hits him with it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was that dude that Arcane impersonated because that dude was part of the group, the
Oh.
the Alex group.
See, that was what
But
was confusing to me, because that
yeah, yeah,
beginning, that very beginning, where it was like those random guys on the boat and in the water and stuff, I was so confused at how that tied into anything. I was
right,
like,
yeah, yeah.
what are
No,
we
same thing.
doing?
Like I mentioned that stuff now, it's like, oh, it makes sense now. The the 50th time I watched through it. But when
Right.
you're watching through the first time, it needs to make sense that first time. So I could that is understandable for like the pacing being or like just the story in general. It's like what is happening? Who is this guy? Like why did Arcane show himself like? Because yeah, okay, yeah. To be fair, also Arcane was not shown earlier in the movie.
No,
It was
exactly.
yeah, so it's like even if they showed, oh, we're going to have this plot that's happening, it's like they didn't introduce the villain. They introduced the villain like during the twist or the reveal or whatever. It's just like that's not how that works.
Exactly. And so it just,
So
I don't know,
yeah,
it
yeah.
bugged me right away. And then I was just kind of like, and so then they kind of forced their way to him becoming Swamp Thing through that. Or not force their way,
Mhm.
but like, it just felt confusing. And then, by the time he's Swamp Thing, and then they're trying to hide that journal from him. And it's like, okay, I guess. But I don't think I had enough time to care about certain characters before they launched
Yeah.
them into the scenes that they were in and stuff. Where I feel like, and we'll get to it, but Return of Swamp Thing did a much better job at making me care about almost every character in that movie. They really
Yeah.
did do a good job at attaching me to them. I don't know if it's the way they directed them or the way the actors performed. I don't know what it is, but there was something about that one that I found easier to grasp onto, liking the characters and the story. I don't know, and I actually rooted, like, well, we'll get to Return to Swamp Thing, but
Mhm.
yeah. So for me, I personally would put it in dumpster fire. I have a feeling
Mhm.
you're gonna put it in super.
Super above Superman.
Oh no!
It's I'm
No!
telling you. I mean, okay, maybe super right below Superman, maybe. But like, okay, even then, I will make this as a point as well. After watching all these movies, one thing that we can add about this, and I made a dig about it in the Return of Swamp Thing, at least Swamp Thing and Return of Swamp Thing know how to end a movie. Like that
That's
they actually
fair.
have their it's one Swamp Thing is one movie directed by one person and then they stopped because they were like, we made one movie, that's it. Hell, even Superman 1 and 2 were supposed to be like this big extended like thing that they all recorded together and then they separated, which then
Right.
caused some issues. So it's like Swamp Thing was the first one of these where it was just it's the movie and then that's it. And
Right.
then eventually they decided to make a comedy which was different than what the first one was, but
Yeah.
it's its own separate thing that stood on its own thing. So to me it's just like if you want to watch a movie that is even if there's some stuff that's like some stuff's kind of weird, it's at least a through line of like the story.
Okay. Well, seeing as you want to put it in super and I want to put it in dumpster fire, I think the only fair way, and Ezra hasn't seen it, so the
Yeah.
only fair way is to put it in mid. Because
Okay. I'll give this a benefit of the doubt as well. I think so. I gave this an 8
I
or
know.
I think I gave it a 9
No, yeah,
around.
you gave it a
But
9.
yeah, yeah. But I'm thinking of like bumping that down to like 8 because of Return of Swamp Thing. I think is better. But
Okay.
at least for this one, I think where my 8 is, it's like 7 is like a classic hero movie, like anyone could watch it. 9 is like, oh, this is a really good movie that anyone could watch. 8, I would say, probably is like closer to that niche. So it's like certain people, when you make a movie for a certain group of people, then those people are going to like it more because it's a certain thing instead of trying to appease to everyone. But
Right.
also in terms of that, if people don't like it, then people just aren't going to like it. So it's kind of like this weird give and take of like you appease some people, but then like you take away what other people like from other stuff. So I can understand Swamp Thing, this movie being that, where some people, I think that's where our dichotomy comes in, is like people will either like really like this movie if they watch it or just like not really like it at all.
Right. Which, by the way, Ezra, I know because you haven't seen the Swamp Thing movies. When
That's
you
funny.
when you come back, you should definitely. So we're gonna do this like a live stream every time we get through a certain batch of movies. When we go to do the next one, even though we won't be talking about Swamp Thing or any of these ones here, in that one, if you've watched it by then, definitely come with like feedback, like what you think about it. Because I would love to get like, I mean, you've heard what I think and you've heard what Dakota thinks. I think it'd be cool to hear a third person's point of view on it.
Well, yeah, even what Ezra put there now, I don't know if the first Swamp Thing is good or bad now. Like we're so on the opposite ends of the spectrum. It's funny.
It is kind of crazy. I love it though. I love how divisive it is for both of us.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's awesome. But anyways, yeah, because of that though, we got to put it in mid. It's the only fair
yeah,
place.
yeah.
So, okay. Cool. Next up is Superman 3. Okay, let me start off on this one and by saying when I watched it by myself for the first time, I thoroughly liked it. I thought it was fun. When we watched it for our reaction, I was very bored. And this is the only one so far that we've reacted to other than Swamp Thing for me that I was bored. I was not really enjoying it and um I was ready to kind of be done with it. Like it was boring to me. Um
Yeah.
and for me, but I do think it's a decent movie. I think it has some really good stuff in there, but I'm going to be honest right away, I think it's mid. I think it's mid. I don't think it's not good. I think there's still really fun good stuff in there. Like I think everything with Lana I really
Yep.
enjoy. Um, I think there's certain scenes where Richard Pryor's character Gus is entertaining to watch.
Hmm.
Um, but then there's also some really not great stuff. Like they drag out the evil Superman quite a bit, and I think there's elements of it that are good, and there's elements that I'm like I don't love it. I also think Ross isn't much of a villain. I don't really like him that much. I don't hate him, but I can't not see that he's a Lex Luthor knockoff. And honestly, the whole ending of like Gus being like, I want something now. I want a supercomputer. And it's like, why? Nothing we've seen of your character shows why you would want that. And then like but then after he gets the supercomputer and it's working, he's like, "Oh no, it's hurting Superman. I got to destroy it." And it's like, "What do you mean, Gus? You literally promoted it to Ross by saying it can hurt anyone who tries to stop it."
It's every countermeasure.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Now you flake out? Like I don't understand that. I really don't like that part. I do think it's funny when Superman drops him off at the end and is like, your boss should give this man a job. And then as Superman leaves, Gus goes, I don't think I want the
Nah.
job.
Yeah.
I do think that's funny. And I love the ending. I think this is easily the best ending of maybe any of these films
It
with
also kind of sucks. It kind of
Lana.
sucks though
Well, yeah, because they don't
because
follow it up.
yeah, they set it up with like, oh, this is interesting, and then like, yeah, Lana doesn't come back.
And we'll get to
So
Superman 4
bad.
here in a second, but Superman 4 literally ends up doing a storyline that could have been Lana.
Yes.
Oh, it's
Oh
so
man.
peak. It's so annoying because I really liked Lana. I think she's really great in Superman 3. One of the best elements of that whole movie. And then what happens? They set up an amazing ending where now she's working at the Daily Planet. And now we're going to get Clark, Lois, and Lana?
Yeah.
Awesome. And then what happens? No, she doesn't come back. That's
All right.
stupid. So for me, I don't know. Again, I do think it's mid. I think it's mid. I don't think it's not good, but I could also be persuaded to put it in not good. But
It's
what do
like
you think?
it's my my Discord kind of fuzzed out there, but yeah, it's like low, the low end of mid. Like if we keep adding movies, we have to keep Superman 3 like at the bottom of mid. I was looking at Ezra also saying Superman 3 is the worst movie. Just get bored with it. Yeah, pretty much.
I
I think what
understand that.
kind of hitting on. But also have to watch the reaction video. I know you said that about Swamp Thing, of like yeah, you could go back and watch that. But
You actually should. It's the
uh,
better way to watch the movie. Because
sure, yeah,
Dakota,
yeah,
I'm gonna be completely honest. I know you love the movie Dakota, but I hated it, as you know. When you sent me the edited version of the reaction and I watched it, I was
it
like,
was better.
dude, this is so much better. What the heck?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm
I
not
think that was
saying that like, oh, Dakota and I are great reactors. I'm not saying that. I'm
not,
just
yeah.
saying the
I
cut
left the
down
good parts
version.
in.
Yes, the cut down version with just our reactions to certain parts of the movie made it a million times better. And yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Ezra, I know Lana was played by the mom in Smallville. I
But
thought she was great.
also, I'll make a counterpoint too, though, where you say you just have to watch the reaction video. I completely forgot that during Superman 3, like I watched someone else, like on a different channel, react to Superman 3, and they were reacting to the part where Superman was flying to the base and they were playing a video game to like shoot Superman down.
Oh yeah,
I completely forgot about that, like especially because it wasn't in the reaction thing, like
right.
us reacting to it. Maybe we didn't like react heavily to it or whatever,
Not really.
but like it was I completely forgot about that, and it's so goofy how that happens in Superman 3. But yeah, I didn't know that until like I watched someone else's reaction. I was like, oh yeah, that was in there. Huh.
Yeah,
So
we probably did.
it's
I
a
don't remember, but I don't think we had much of a reaction to it because it was just kind of cheesy. It was like,
yeah, yeah.
what's happening?
But that's also a mix of like you could watch the reaction videos. I think we leave the best stuff in, or at least stuff that we like recognize and we're like oh or like try to comment on. But
Right.
like you you could still miss out on some stuff, like even some of the better stuff
That is
that
true.
if you don't watch through it yourself. So it's a bit of both. I'd say watch the movie yourself and then see how we react to it is also just
Because
the
ironically, even though you might think you're missing certain things when watching our reaction, if you watch the full length of some of these, there's stuff missing anyway. So
yeah, or of course that Patreon version where
that
you
is
know
true. You
it,
could also head over to Patreon, but
yeah, where
um,
that is also probably a mix of both where it's good because if it's like you want to watch it for the first time but you want to watch it like with our reaction, then yeah, that would be how you do it and be like, oh okay, well you get the best of both, like you watch it with us, so
that
that's
is true. I love the fact that Patreon is something that exists. I think it's such a fun way
yeah, yeah.
to watch a movie with someone. Um,
Anyways, what were we talking about? Superman 3.
Superman
um
3. Oh, we said
so
mid,
yeah,
right? Didn't we agree? But bottom of mid.
yeah, bottom of mid. I didn't say too much about it yet, but yeah, so there's some like that. I mentioned the arcade like game looking thing and how it's like that's kind of a bit too goofy, but also by the way, I think especially because we got a bit into like the Batman stuff, the Batman reactions that's going to come out here soon.
Right.
But
Hopefully, fingers crossed this week.
this week, okay.
I hope
But
so.
I mean, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I just remember like the video game stuff. It's like it's super like over the top comic booky. Also because if they were setting up like a computer villain or whatever, and the way that they fight off Superman is playing a computer game, it's like okay, that kind of is funny. That kind of fits. So there's just some moments where yeah, some of the stuff worked. It was, but still, it was I don't know.
I think it's a very 50-50 movie. Like, I think
Yeah,
reacting to it was hard, but I think watching it, like, just, not trying to commentate it, I actually think it's a bit better of a movie. Because I don't think Superman 3 has as many moments in it that are, like, laugh out loud funny or like Superman 4 and Supergirl and some of these other movies that aren't maybe as good of movies, they were more enjoyable to react to, in my opinion, because they were, you know, worse in certain areas, or had certain moments in them that were like laugh out loud kind of funny. Where
Mm.
Superman 3 was just kind of like, eh, it was okay, I guess. And that's okay, Ezra. I understand. Um, it is what it is. But I appreciate you being here with us live anyway. So
Yeah, yeah.
always appreciate the support, no matter how you do it. So I appreciate it. All right, so let's put Superman 3 in mid, and now we're
Yeah.
on to Superman 4. Or no, we're on to Supergirl. Sorry, we
Supergirl.
are on to Supergirl. And I
Okay.
must say, I hated this movie when I watched it for the first time by myself, but reacting
Mhm.
to it, I actually found myself really enjoying it, and I don't know why that
Yeah.
is. I think it's kind of what I was just saying about Superman 3. I think it's just Supergirl's a little goofier in ways,
Yeah.
and I think I had fun reacting to that. I also think, by the way, because we're gonna rank the villains tonight,
Yeah.
I do think the villains in Supergirl are actually really fun.
Mhm.
I think they steal the scenes they're in.
They're
So
also
when,
they're also unique from what we've seen. At least for like,
yeah,
well, both for Supergirl and also for Swamp Thing's like Arcane, what he was.
right,
Like Arcane was also a billionaire, like kind of like a billionaire scientist that wants to like rule over the world, kind of.
right.
It's different, but it's like it's that same vibe as like Lex, and like also Lex's knockoff in Superman 3. So it's like there's
Yeah,
a lot of the same stuff there. Supergirl was, I mean, it was witches, which is
yep,
like it sounds so ridiculous saying that out loud, but again, like I mentioned during the commentary as well, it's like, well, that's part of the DC universe, right? Is there was like magic and stuff, and you're like, yeah. So it's like
I
it's
can't wait.
a
I
unique, different thing to like to do that. Is like that's actually is interesting to like see in this movie.
Right, I can't wait. By the way, when we get to Constantine, that's gonna be such a fun one
Mm.
to watch. But yeah, okay, Ezra, Supergirl, I'll still give it a shot to watch, even though I've been getting hate from Marvel fans because I liked Madam Web. I haven't
Uh,
seen Madam Web, so
I
I can't comment on it.
maybe we need to react to that because I haven't seen it yet either, and I really want to because people say it's really bad, and I want to like look at it and see.
Yeah,
I wanted to do that
maybe
with
we'll
my
have to do some Marvel at some
yeah, I
point.
want to do that as like a movie night with my brothers, like to watch along with Madam Web, but like we just no one cares. So
You never know, but yeah, we might have to check it out at some point. And yeah, you should always give. I think you could all. I think no matter what people say about a movie, I think you should always, if you have an interest in it, check it out. Don't let them persuade you against it, because there are tons
I'm
of movies out there that I love that majority hate, and I love them, and I wouldn't know that if I had not watched it because everybody else says they don't like it.
I'm I'm gonna say the one thing specifically with because I wanted to make some videos on my own channel that was like video game specific and like the stuff I like about certain video games and whatnot. Everything that I like hate is like the fans. I do not like any type of like fan base anywhere. I just do not like.
That's
Like I
fair.
watched a certain show. I'm not going to mention it now because I don't know. It's like not at all relevant to what this stream is like. At well, maybe in a certain way, but not really. But like I just completely like turned off from everyone. I was just like I'm just gonna be in my own room, watch this, and not tell anyone about it, and just think about it. And then like yeah, so I get more enjoyment out of that because like other people aren't like saying stuff. But it is also difficult where it's like if you want to talk about it with other people, it's like then people are gonna talk to you about it, and if yeah, so it's weird.
Exactly.
Which is kind of like the same thing here. People are we're fans of Superman, like the Christopher Reeve movies, and especially with the first one where we start to say some bad stuff about it. And that first one, we got like some people that was just like, "What are you doing? You're so dumb." And it's just like I didn't care about that because
Yeah.
again, I like separate us watching the movie from the fans that watch us watch the movie, or like even the fans that just watch or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I don't think about it. I mean, when we're filming our reactions, I don't think about it. I do think about it sometimes
Yeah,
when I'm editing it, just because I'll catch us say something, and I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, I might cut that part out.
Uh,
They don't need to hear us say that, you know. I'll save it for the
what
patrons. But
what
um,
if we what if we said? Oh, I don't
no,
even
it's
know
just
what we
like
said.
in Superman 4, we dog a lot on the effects, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna maybe trim some of that out.
Some of it, yeah,
Yeah, we don't need to dog on it the whole movie. It was specifically me. Like almost every time there was a somewhat not very good effect, I was like, "Oh, that effect wasn't very good." I'm like, "Blake, shut up. They're gonna
yeah.
hate you. They're gonna
Yeah.
hate you for it." So I was just like, "All right, we don't need that on YouTube. That can go on Patreon." What's
What's up,
up,
Jay?
Jay? Nice to see you, Jay. And yeah, we'll
Or
get.
yeah,
We're
for sure.
not to Superman 4 yet, but
That's our next one. Supergirl specifically. We're on Supergirl, and
yep.
I remember when we reacted to it, and by the end, I said it was mid as well, like 5. But it was weird because it was different from how I saw like Superman 3, where 5 for me was it wasn't too good that it was memorable, but it also wasn't bad enough to be memorable as well. So it's just kind of just like if it's that's like the worst score you could give it is like 5 being forgettable.
Right. Which
But
since you edited Supergirl, you got more time to like watch it and stuff. What have your thoughts on the movie changed in any way? Or
yeah, I have edited it and also going back and looking through because I forgot because I was editing that and then also I didn't see like Superman 3 and was like looking through that. But yeah, I it was a bit more entertaining in Supergirl. There was also some concepts in there that I think were better, like going to the Phantom Zone, the fact that there was Kryptonians that survived, even though it was kind of like abrupt at the beginning. It was just like, oh, by the way, Kryptonians are alive.
well,
Still,
yeah, they don't
like
explain it,
what?
and that is they don't. Not only do they not explain it, but then they set up something that doesn't even get resolved. We just see her resolving it while the credits roll, which is like,
Yeah,
oh my gosh, that was your kickoff to the movie to like send her on a journey, which then gets lost immediately as she gets to Earth. And then she
yeah,
goes to school for who knows how long because
it is
we
true.
don't know. They literally like jump without telling us because then they're like on a 3 day weekend or something.
That's true.
And it's
Yeah,
like, wait,
it
what?
was like they were on summer break all of a sudden. Like she's just being an average, schoolgirl just doing normal stuff when she's like, no, you're a superhero, and you like your city's gonna like die without its power source. So what is happening? But okay, again, that's also the thing with the concepts as well. I mentioned also that like Superman's whole thing was he grew up on a farm and like his environment is what made him Superman. I think it's also the same thing with Supergirl. She grew up with like other teenage girls or a college girl or whoever they were in that in that thing, and it's just like, well, yeah, then that would explain like her personality, especially being on Earth, like who maybe she's a bit more peppier and whatnot instead of being like the good boy farmhand that Superman was.
Right.
And it's just like that makes sense. That's like actually unique. But again, just everything else that surrounds it kind of like is like, is this what we need to be doing now though? So it's
Right. Yeah.
very weird.
I do think if you forget about that opening with her people in jeopardy, it is at least a decent movie. I think it's still pretty fun to watch, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd put it in not good or if I'd put it in mid. I'm kinda between it, to be honest with you, which is
I mean,
weird because I before we reacted to it, easy dumpster fire for me. But now that we've reacted to it, my thoughts actually went up a little. So I'm kind of
yeah.
between. So actually, maybe I gotta put it in. Maybe it's in not good. I don't know. Cause like that is a big thing that I don't want to just forget about. That her people were in peril and she went to school for some reason.
Right, yeah.
And then there's the whole story with that guy who gets spelled to like whoever
Yeah,
he
who
opens his eyes to, and it's like,
the
what?
love interest of Supergirl is also like kind of forced, which is kind of like a little weird.
Yep.
But also, well, I guess eventually he was just like, no, I actually do care. So it's like, oh, that's kind of sweet. But whatever. You don't need a romantic interest for any of your movie. Even like the Batman movies, we get like every Batman movie has a romantic interest. He doesn't need
Every
that.
single one. I
Character
know.
of Supergirl is really cute, as Ricard says. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like again, that's part of like the personality of like also when she was like on Earth and she was figuring stuff out, and it's just like that's also fun to like watch too because Superman wasn't that. He was just like a kid, and like we didn't mention that with Superman 1. We mentioned how the first third of the movie was the setup or whatever, but like there was still certain moments there where Krypton just like kept blowing up and that scene just kept going on forever and ever.
Yeah.
And then like, but then also when it was kid Superman to teenage Superman, it was like a cut. It wasn't like a fade to show time passing or like here's a little montage of like young Clark like figuring doing stuff, figuring stuff out.
Right.
It was just like here's him as a kid, here's him as a teen. What happened? What? So,
right,
yeah.
and that part felt very rushed. Like it was like the opening on Krypton was very long and drawn out, and then all of a sudden, Clark landing on Earth, being a teenager, and now being in Metropolis, it like flew by.
I think the teenage to Metropolis, I think, was by maybe like him becoming Superman, because what we saw was he went to the Fortress of Solitude. He like was looking at the the computer, being like teaching him how to like that stuff works of like this is how you be Superman.
Right.
And then like he flew off, and then that was him officially like being Superman.
And I know this wasn't in that movie, but trees. Earth trees.
Yeah.
And Superman 2.
Which also he was on Earth for what, like 18 years at that point when he had known
he knew what trees were. Yeah, that's so funny. But I mean, I guess they wouldn't have planned for that though. They would have assumed.
There was a scene of that in Supergirl. I completely forgot about that. That's actually kind of cool. I didn't realize that. Because that tree scene in Superman 2 was like trees. Oh, here's what trees are. One of the first thing that Supergirl asks in the movie is, what is a tree?
Oh, yeah.
So that was probably an unintentional callback, or not an intentional one that we didn't pick up on.
It could have been.
That's kind of, I'll say it is, because that's cool to think that it was.
It's cooler to think it, yeah, it's cooler to say it was.
But also, because they also, during that, Supergirl was also supposed to be like a bridge. It's in the same universe as Superman. They mentioned Superman, but I think, did you also mention like Christopher Reeve was supposed to have a little bit
from what I heard,
like cameo in there?
Yeah, I had heard originally he was meant to be in the movie, but he said no. And, but they put Jimmy in it. Jimmy was in the movie, so...
Yeah.
So there's that connection there. And it was cool meeting Lucy Lane, Lois's sister. That was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously for me, in my opinion, the the people who stole the scenes were the villains. I thought Selena, Bianca, and Nigel, yes. I thought those three were great. Almost every single scene that they had was gold. Like, I loved it.
Nigel was kind of ridiculous, though. His involvement was weird because he was a villain at the start, having a date with Selena.
Yeah, you're right.
Selena.
Yep, Selena.
And then, like, he fell out of love, or not love. I don't even know if it was love specifically, but, like, he kind of fell out with her and then, like, still met up with her to, like... That's why I think probably he was in love with her, because he kept coming back, like, please take me back, please.
Exactly. It's like Joker. It's like Joker and Harley, but the opposite. She's Joker and he's Harley, essentially. Yeah. But they were entertaining, so.
But then by the end, Nigel was like in one of the cages and like was one of the not hostages, but one of the damsels in distress. That had to be saved.
Right.
So it was weird, Nigel's thing, but no, like Bianca and Selena both together was fun to watch.
And as we've mentioned in our reaction to it, Supergirl's effects looked better than Superman 3 and Superman, the theatrical cut of Superman 2, I thought. Supergirl, there were like barely any effects in Supergirl that were like not very good. And it was really just at the very end in that final battle with that big monster.
Which is also backwards as like, again, the whole thing with like, I don't know, we mentioned like all the concepts are neat and whatever, but the rest of the stuff doesn't fit. It's like, that's one of the weird things where it's like, oh, it's good, but it's also not. Yeah. It's like, all the effects were good except at the end where it kind of mattered.
Oh, I know.
Like, so it was like, it's a positive of like, oh, the effects are good, but also how did you fumble this? The
ending is kind of where Supergirl falls off tremendously, in my opinion, because you have that battle with that monster. You have the thing where the floor starts shaking and it's like, Supergirl, fly, maybe? Like, you could just fly. Like, there's a lot of issues there at the end. I mean, Supergirl is riddled with issues. Don't get me wrong. I think it's not a very good movie, but is it mid or is it not good? That's the question. I don't know.
It's like I say high mid.
High mid? Above Superman 3?
We said we like it. There's a lot of good stuff we like about it, like the concept wise. Again, the pieces don't fit. I still really like just how interesting all like like again the villain is good. The like her going to school again doesn't fit, but for what Supergirl is supposed to be, that kind of makes sense. And then like going to the Phantom Zone is like that's something that we haven't seen in the Superman movies, and we actually get to like explore in this movie. Even though I think it kind of retcons it a bit because it's like Zod and the rest of them were in a glass diamond or whatever,
And all they
and
had to
then
do
like
to get out was battle their worst fear, which, by the way, I don't really know what that was because all it was like a tornado and they were like climbing a mountain.
yeah, well, even
So,
just the start, Supergirl went to the Phantom Zone and was there, but for the Zod and the rest of the crew, they were still in that glass pane that was spinning around in space until it broke.
right.
So it's like that's not how you established it before, but whatever. But again, it was like they went to the Phantom Zone. This is like a way to like so whatever. I think at least in terms of like all the stuff together, I liked all of the stuff that they had and also the goofy stuff from the witches and whatever. That's better than like Superman 3. I mean, again, Swamp Thing's a weird thing that we have on there so far. Like, because again, that's our thing. So I don't know. I could put that on there. Like, either we put it above Swamp Thing or like we keep Swamp Thing at the top.
I think in fairness we'll keep Swamp Thing at the top of the mid tier.
Okay.
And I mean either way, I was thinking Supergirl would be in mid. So whether it's in front of Superman 3 or behind it, I mean I don't really care. So we'll just we'll put Supergirl above it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're on to Superman 4. I think this is going to be an easy one. I enjoyed reacting to it. I thought it was fun to react to, but is it a good movie? No. It is riddled with issues. This is the movie out of all these movies that feels like it is missing the most, which as far as we looked, I believe it is the one that is missing the most content from it.
Also, didn't mention with Supergirl, but Supergirl also had like a different cut of the version. So, like,
oh yeah, I don't know where that is though, because I've not seen that anywhere. I would be
like
interested to see it.
Like all the Superman movies are like there's an extended cut. Even the first one, which I didn't know about until like after we saw it. Like not even after we saw it, like after when the video was posted. Because it's a bit of time between where we react to it and then when it actually goes out.
Right.
So like when people started to talk about it, it was like, oh, even this version has like more stuff that got cut out. That's kind of what?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just it was kind of an issue with all the movies, except again, Superman 1 did it the best. It still was a movie like that.
Because I wonder what if there is stuff that got cut from Superman 1. I mean I wonder what it was because I don't really feel like when we watched it I didn't feel like, oh, it's missing something. I don't feel like it's the most out of all four of the Superman films. I feel like it's the most completed in my opinion. Like it feels very complete from beginning to the end. Where like even Superman 2 to a degree, the only thing missing from Superman 2 from my memory is like the way he like is able to get his powers back after the machine told him you'll never get it back. So I mean it's missing that. Obviously Superman 3 is what was Superman 3 missing? Because I don't know if that one felt like it was really missing anything either.
Well, we said that one had the Lana in the middle. That probably wasn't.
No, I don't think Superman 3 really felt like it was missing anything either. It just felt like they had too much storylines in one movie. Where Superman 4 is the one where he gets sick because he gets cut by Nuclear Man, and then all of a sudden, final battle, he's back and he's okay. And it's like, how? I mean, I guess it was the diamond thing, the crystal he had, but like, I
They don't
don't
show it.
know. I don't know. They don't show it, and also the crystal thing came out of nowhere. He just kind of found it and was like, "Oh, hey, here's this in my ship. Cool."
Yeah, maybe because I'm skimming through all this stuff, so I get like a quick refresher on like what the stuff was. So yeah, Superman 3, I guess, was the only one that like was consistent and like didn't have stuff that felt like it was missing.
That's what I'm
Yeah, so
saying. I
that's
actually
weird.
think that's what I'm saying. I think Superman 3, even though it was boring to react to it, I think it's the most like not against Superman 1, but in terms of Superman 2 and 4 that we watched, I felt like it was the most like I guess what good from beginning to end, cuz Superman 2
Yeah.
obviously has the bad ending. But I felt like
Hmm.
Superman 3 is actually pretty solid, even if it is mid. I think it's the most mid all the way from beginning to end. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Superman 4 is riddled with problems. Nuclear Man is kind of a joke. Um, I like having
Yeah, it's
Lex.
kind of interesting.
I like having Lex back. Uh, and even though
True.
Otis, I would have much preferred Otis. I thought Lenny. Excuse me. I thought Lenny was okay. I actually thought he was kind of entertaining. Hey, yo, I'm
Yeah.
breakdancing. Whoa, okay. Or
Huh.
like the different scenes where he would have these weird dialogue delivery line. I just I don't know. He was entertaining. I thought he was fun. Um, what else about this movie? I mean, it was nice having Lois back. Although huge red flag when he jumps off the building with her, revealing he's Superman, and then after they fly around for a little bit, he kisses her again to take her memory away.
Yeah. It
Oh no.
it's so bad as well because when we saw that in Superman 2, it was like where this is one of his powers. What? It's like so they brought it out of nowhere, but then kind of in a way where they I mentioned I think here where they brought it back, it was like, well, that if they brought it back, then it's like, okay, well, they're being consistent. But also the reason why he's doing it is like not good at all. So
That
it's like, oh,
exactly.
he's like constantly is he like constantly being like this manipulative and bad? And it's like, what is a Superman now? Is he like, oh my god?
Exactly.
Yeah, so
It's
it's
really like a moral questioning there of like, would Superman really do that?
yeah. I don't
And
know.
yes,
It's
Ezra Clark's kisses are toxic. That is very true.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Super and I do think there's some things in Superman 4 that are interesting, despite certain elements of it being weird. Like I like the scene in a way. I'm 50-50 on it, but I'm 50-50 on the scene where Superman and Clark are meant to be having like a dinner or something with Lois and Mrs. Warfield.
Yeah.
And he comes in as Superman, and then he's like, "Oh, hold on for a second," and then Clark comes in. Like I kind of liked how they played with that. It was fun, even though it really didn't make a lot of sense with how he rang the doorbell with his laser eyes or something.
No. Well,
Um,
again, I think there was part of that where it wasn't Zod's he like legitimately had a pointer finger and with a laser and he was like moving stuff around. So it's like
yeah,
as
but
again, here's the thing. As me, okay, I should also. I think I specified this during like the first Superman movie. I didn't specify this at all during this live stream though. I'm not a DC fan as well, or like not as big. I'm like more of a Batman fan, and then that's about it. Like so, anything about Superman, Supergirl, Swamp Thing, any of that stuff, I'm just like it's. I don't really pay attention. Even like, oh, it's Christopher Reeve as Superman. I was just like, I don't care. I don't care if it's Christopher Reeve. I just want to watch a good movie. And so yeah, that type. Oh, I forgot where my train of thought was going with why I brought this up.
oh no,
But like, yeah, that's just what were you mentioning prior to this? What was the because
his powers and how like he could ring the doorbell with
right.
laser
Okay,
eyes.
so I don't know his story. I don't know like what Superman's powers actually are, like how far they actually go. So like,
Sure.
as far as I know, if he laser eyes and that also like can interact with objects, and it's like, oh, okay, sure, Zod, can do that stuff as well. It's like if Superman could do that, okay. Technically, like I think we also mentioned I mentioned in when we watched Superman 2 when he first did his was it his freeze breath during that one? It was something like that.
It was in Superman 2. Yeah.
Superman 2, he did his freeze breath for the first time in that movie, but
Right.
it wasn't in the previous movie. And I was just like, oh, okay. I know that's a thing, but technically that's just something that was brought up randomly. It's just like, oh, he could also do this. But it's just
Sure.
like, because I knew it was like, oh, it was okay. So I
But
think it's the same thing here,
I think the
where it was
biggest
just
thing that
like,
bugged me with this though is its laser eyes. How did he ring the doorbell without singeing a hole through the
yeah,
wall? Like that doesn't. And also the whatever she was cooking, I forget what she was cooking, but he like uses
duck,
X-ray
whatever.
vision and his laser eyes to heat it up, and there's no
Mhm.
like burn through the wall or anything. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like with Zod getting the
Yeah.
telekinesis, even though for me as a DC fan, I know they don't have telekinesis, and so that's
Mhm.
like a problem for me. But it's like it still works logically though, where it's like, okay, sure, maybe he's got telekinesis. Okay, sure. But then
Mhm.
this display of ability in Superman 4, I'm like, it doesn't even make sense though. Like how?
Yeah.
How? I don't know. So it bugs me a little bit, but I think it was still a fun scene where they're like in and out. And also, I didn't mention this, but Superman 2, when we were talking about Superman 2 also has that really fun scene in Niagara Falls where Lois throws herself into the falls
Yeah.
and he has to save her, but as Clark. I thought that was really fun too. Even though in the director's cut there is a scene similar that's way better where she throws herself out the window. And
Yeah.
that is a much better scene. But anyways, it was still fun. So anyway, back to Superman 4 though.
All right.
The main thing with Superman 4 was the whole nuclear arms thing. And that's also a problem for me. He inflicts his will on the world essentially. He just walks into the UN and says, "Hi everyone, I've made a decision. I'm going to get rid of all of your nukes." Cool.
And that, and yeah, also I didn't realize that was after the kid like brought it up or whatever. Was like, hey, there's nukes in the world, right? What are you gonna do, Superman? And then the Daily Planet was like, oh, Superman didn't answer the kid, so it's just like, even the setup to that was kind of like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of issues here. I do like certain elements of the movie. I think there's some redeeming qualities, but overall, it's just not very good. Yeah, I especially during the fight scene with Nuclear Man. Do you remember the part where he hits Superman, or no, Superman hits Nuclear Man and he flies off screen like a JPEG? It's literally like a
Oh.
JPEG, and he like quickly turns and like flies off sideways.
I like don't remember that, but I believe you 100%.
It was
I just
so bad. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this one had the worst effects out of any of the movies we've seen on this tier list. Yeah, I think it might have to go in. I don't know. I don't want to put it in dumpster fire because I like Christopher Reeve and I like Lex, and
yeah,
but at the same time, I'm like, it might be dumpster fire. I don't know. Oh, what do you
you know,
think?
I mean, at the end of the series, if you want to, if you want to cut off your watching, if anyone were to just watch it, if you want to cut it off from Superman 3 and not watch Superman 4, I'd understand. Like, you don't gotta watch that. I'd say dumpster.
Whoa! What happened a few minutes ago when you're like, well, you should try it. You never know. You were saying that
Oh,
about
right.
Swamp Thing, right? But not Superman 4. Not Superman
Yeah,
4.
I'm kind of all over the place.
No, okay. So,
I mean, try it if you're a DC fan and you want to get interested in that stuff. But
Right.
if I'm like some basic whoever is like that just wants to watch a good movie, I'd be like, watch a good movie. Don't watch.
okay. So, what are we thinking? Are we putting it in dumpster fire or not good? What are you feeling?
Oh man, dude, because it's just, I think also, because it's like how it happens. I'd say dumpster fire because it's just kind of a disappointment how it happens. Ah man. Oh yeah, because also, so I mentioned it during that as well. Was just the whole ending is all cut from. The only thing they kept was like the final fight scene, and then like a little bit at the end to be like, oh, the Daily Planet's fixed, which we didn't mention, like the whole Daily Planet arc of like the new management and how like that didn't like whatever.
Oh, that didn't make sense either. Warfield said the Daily Planet hasn't made any money in 3 years. And then he becomes in charge. They start making money. And then for some reason, the bank gives Perry White a loan to to be in charge of the Daily Planet again. Makes absolutely no sense.
And then yeah, and then well, yeah, that they like resolved that at the end, and that was like pretty much it. And then like there was no other story by the end. It was just like you fight Nuclear Man. Maybe Lex is like. Did they even arrest Lex? I guess they like showed a quick. Did they show? I don't even remember.
Superman flies him back to the prison. To the Well, it was a prison, but like at the beginning of the movie, he's like out in the field in the gravel working.
Yeah.
And he's whistling.
Oh yeah.
He's whistling and stuff, and the other guys are like, "Shut up" and stuff. He brings him back, and all the criminals start whistling that. It's actually pretty funny. Like he brings them back, and all the criminals are like whistling the song he was whistling earlier in the movie to make fun of him. I kind of like that, but yeah.
As they're saying, put it in not good. I could understand that as well. It's just
If we put it in not good, either way, not good or dumpster fire will be an empty category. Because
right,
there's
yeah.
no
It's
way
just,
Return to Swamp Thing is going in either of those categories.
right, yeah. I just uh, it's just a wasted potential at the end. It's just so weird because it's like, again, it's a Superman movie. I think you could have just done a lot of good stuff with it, but it's just how it played out. It's just like oh man.
Yeah.
So that's to me. It's just like it's not. They don't like. It's almost like they don't try by the end. Which I think we looked, or at least I remember looking at Reddit and being like, should there be an extended cut for this movie as well? Because like we're missing a lot of stuff, and they're like, nope, there was no extended cut. This is all you got, and it's just like, well, oh man. So yeah, that's why I'm just like, it almost just felt like they just threw it out there. And it's just like whatever.
Wait, I just realized, Ezra, are you watching Gotham right now? That's so funny. I love that though. I love that.
That's good. That's funny.
That's so good. I think we're gonna leave Superman 4 in dumpster fire just because.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it is what it is. And then Return to Swamp Thing, we can just make this one a quick one. I love this movie. I went into it thinking I was gonna hate it because I didn't like the first one, but I loved it. I would watch this one again. Like, I'd watch it tomorrow if I really wanted to. I would. I loved all the characters in this movie. I loved the only gripe I have two. Well, okay, I have two gripes. My two gripes: don't love Swamp Thing's voice. I don't love it. It doesn't work for me. And then my other gripe is, I think the ending could have been better, but at the same time, I love Swamp Thing just beating the crap out of that scientist.
Yeah, it's just so,
bro,
so ridiculous.
I just want to say, just pointing out, because I watched it just the other night, and I've had to watch all of these, right? Dakota, that is the hardest you've laughed at any of these movies, is when the scientist dude is getting beat the crap out.
Yes, it's like, and when I was editing that, I just left that uncut because it was just like, I think both of us were just like laughing so hard from that. And it's just like, dude,
so good.
Oh my, and it's so weird. Again, okay, so
there's a lot of the pose of you in the thumbnail is from that. When you're laughing, it is from that scene, because I was like, that's perfect. I was like, that is the thumbnail right there.
Yeah. I just so much stuff from that movie is so good. Even like, okay, so the voice, it was weird, but like it was just like, oh, this is so ridiculous, but like, all right, let's go for it.
Night.
No, even like his quips during it, yeah, like he's Spider-Man. Oh my.
You could say I was piped in, or whatever he says. I forget.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of the funny stuff. Again, you also had those two kids who was essentially,
the ghost.
It was like Jude the sequel. It was like the perfect way to like do it, especially because they were bouncing off each other, like arguing constantly. It's like that is like
and also
the next way to
I love Jude and all, but these kids were phenomenal.
So good.
Hey man, you can't be doing that to me.
Yeah.
It's so good. I don't know if you saw the thumbnail, Dakota, but they're in the thumbnail. I had to put them in.
Yes.
Yeah, they had to go in it. And by the way, I don't know where you want to put it, but here's where I want to put it. I don't know if you can see the tier, but I have it in super. I loved it.
This one, okay, I could understand my thing with Swamp Thing earlier maybe not being above Superman. This one I feel like has to be like For sure. Like it was so good. Also, well, okay, so I was mentioning it's so funny. It's like all this stuff is like so ridiculous, especially like certain action scenes. By the end, it was just Swamp Thing winning. There was like no conflict at the end. It was just he just won. And then like
That
but
jiggle, that jiggle.
yeah, yeah. And then during the movie, when he breaks oh my god, again the name. What's her name? Summer? Not in Summer.
The main girl. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, Little Arcane.
Oh, Abby.
Abby. Okay. Yeah, when Swamp Thing goes into the mansion and then gets breaks Abby out, they're driving. Swamp Thing's the one driving the car and
Heck
is driving
yeah.
away, and they're like shooting like the girl, who again, as much as we said Cable was awesome for like defending herself, this Abby just like having a shotgun, throwing grenades around and stuff like that. It's just like what is? It's just so good.
Oh, that
Also,
does. Wait, that does remind me. This is my only other negative. The love story between Swamp Thing and Abby in this didn't work for me. I thought
yeah,
Cable and Swamp Thing in the first one, that was actually something that did work for me in that movie. I thought they built that a little bit better throughout the whole movie. Where this one, it was like she walks around a corner, bumps into Swamp Thing, and then
mhm.
instantly they're like in love. And I was like, I don't like,
Yeah, there
I
was
don't
no.
like that.
Yeah, there
But
was no lead up pretty much. But again, I think I mentioned during the movie what I liked about it was Abby Arcane who Swamp Thing fell in love with, or what. Even if I just don't see it as like a fell in love thing, and it's just like it's the fact that Abby Arcane is the Arcane family, and Alec or Swamp Thing doesn't like Arcane, but it still is like, oh no, you're not. You're like fine. It's just I have a beef with Arcane. I don't have beef with like the whole family line, and I'm fine with Abby.
right,
I feel like
and we
that was interesting
actually,
to see through there.
well, we actually mentioned during the reaction. I think I mentioned it, or not during the reaction, but during our review part. I think if you literally add in a thing, like just a little plot beat of Swamp Thing being like against her at first because she's an arcane, and then being like, and then
Yeah,
having like a storyline where he falls in love with her and is like, I don't care that you're an arcane. Like, not everybody who has the last name Arcane is bad. It's just that guy. Like, I wish they had
mhm,
that as maybe part of the story. And I think that would have actually made this movie like maybe a 10 out of 10. I'm not going to lie. Like,
yeah, yeah,
I think this movie is so good. I will put it above Superman 1. Even though I love Superman 1, I'm okay with putting it above because I
yeah, yeah.
loved it so much. And
Also, some of the extra stuff as well was like we're talking about how good that type of stuff was, but also like they still had the science stuff in it. Like those monsters at the beginning, they had like the weird octopus looking thing, and like they had all the different monsters, but also explaining Arcane again. By the way, Arcane is like Lex Luthor. He came back, which I
yep,
wasn't expecting.
me
It was
neither.
just
I thought
like,
he was dead.
whoa, yeah. So the fact that he came back and like the whole point of at least his arc was like he was like dying and he needed a serum or whatever, and they were like doing science and stuff like that to like figure that out. I was like, oh, that actually harkens back to like what the first movie was. It was
Yeah.
like a science horror movie. And so then like yeah, the first little bit, it's not at all comedy or whatever. It's when Arcane's in the basement where he's like kidnapped people and is experimenting with them. It's like, whoa, that's like Swamp Thing. Like, okay.
I like that this movie kept it, even though I didn't like the first movie, I like that it didn't just, you know, forget about the first movie. It very directly connects to the first one. And
Yeah, yeah.
it also, despite being a comedy, a different tone altogether, it still kind of feels like it's in that same world, which I think is great. I think whoever directed this movie and wrote the movie and just the whole team really, I think they did a really great job with this movie. And to be honest with you, I'm sad it doesn't get any attention. This is one of
Yeah.
those DC movies that nobody talks about, and it's like I'm sad. I'm kind of sad about that. It should get attention. And Ezra, to answer your question, the next one is Batman.
Yeah.
Batman '89. We're on the 4 Batman films next. They're all back to back to back to back. So, yeah. Um, but yeah, I love the movie. I don't really have much else to say about it. I think we pretty much covered it. It's just a really fun movie. And if you haven't
Yeah.
seen that one, definitely check that one out. Um,
Yeah, if even well, because they also recap some stuff from Swamp Thing 1. So if decisive on like Swamp Thing 1, you could just go straight to Swamp Thing 2 and still enjoy
And
that.
and I remember from editing the Superman reactions, Dakota, you've mentioned before in one of them, I don't remember which one, but a sequel should still be able to stand on its own as its own movie. And I think
Yeah.
Return of Swamp Thing nails that. I think it does it perfectly. So there you go. Yes, Batman 89. I've seen all 4 Batman movies. Let's go. You'll be able to join us in the
Yeah.
conversation more because you've seen
Yeah,
them. So that's great.
I can't wait to see what, because I think also the Batman stuff, because I'm more of a Batman fan. I think if people thought I was hard on like the Superman movies, and they're probably not gonna like what I
I
have to say
know.
about
I feel
Batman
the same.
movies.
I feel the same way. I haven't edited them yet, but I just
Especially because yeah, the Batman movies are gonna be more popular now. So
I
or they're
know
not.
they're
Yeah,
gonna get
so
more views. They're gonna get more views than what we've done
we'll
so
see what
far.
happens with that. But yeah, yeah,
I know they'll get more views because I've reacted to them before on the channel, and they all 4 did much better than all of the movies
yeah.
we've done so far. So I know they'll do better in views. But yeah, I'm a little worried. We'll see. Yeah, we'll we'll see.
It'll be fun. I'll be down for it.
Yeah. Okay, so that is our tier list for the movies we have watched so far in the DC universe. I'm excited to get to the next batch of movies. And I think what we'll do is we'll just keep the tier we have and add to it.
To it.
I think that would be more fun to do so that when we're finally done, we have all of them on this tier.
Yes.
I think that'll be
Yeah.
awesome. And who knows, maybe some of the ones we have on here right now will move around. I have a feeling
Yep.
they will because based on the quality of some of the other ones, we might be like, no way that's in the same tier as that one. We got to move, because we have nothing and not good. We have nothing. And I definitely think maybe 1 or 2 of the mid ones could definitely drop down to not good. But for now,
Yeah.
for now, we'll keep them in mid.
Blue Beetle fan, Ezra says.
Oh, yeah, I like the Blue Beetle. I really like the Blue Beetle movie. Unfortunately, that's a long way from now, but
And I haven't seen that, so
exactly.
that'll be a fresh reaction when we get to it. Also, yeah, that's some stuff that also I think that's good for having me on. Even like the older Superman stuff, it's like, yeah, I haven't seen it. Also, like the newer stuff, though, I've kind of like they're in my range now of being like, well, I'm alive during this time when they come out and the hype is around, so I could watch them, but most of the movies I haven't yet. So it's like, but that's good for this because when we're reacting through all of it, it's going to be like a genuine first reaction when we eventually get to those. So
Yeah,
I'm excited, especially when we get down the line to that stuff. It's like that's going to be very good.
exactly. I'm excited to see the next movie. I mean, we've already watched Batman at this point and Returns and Forever. So we're actually still ahead on filming. It's just the editing just takes so freaking long. But hopefully the plan will be to get Batman 89 and Batman Returns out this week. Fingers crossed. Because in order to get caught up, technically Batman was meant to go out last week. Batman Returns is meant to come out this coming up week, and Batman Forever is the week after. So in order to get caught up, I got to get Batman and Returns out this week so that Forever can come out the week after that. And then we end off the year with Batman and Robin, which we need to react to, if we can,
Sometime.
probably next weekend, if possible.
Next weekend, yeah.
We-
And then after the Batman movies, Ezra says, it says
Oh,
we're gonna have a
what's
couple
after
for
Batman?
the Batman. Are we gonna have a couple for the Batman sagas, like before, like the live stream? Are we gonna?
No,
a couple
no.
more
So the next batch, I actually have my notebook right here, but I believe the next batch are the 4 Batman movies, and then there's 3 other movies grouped in there. I think it's,
Okay, yeah, that's what I was asking.
here it is. Okay, so the next batch we have is Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Steel, Catwoman, and Constantine. That's the next batch.
You said Steel?
Steel, yep.
Okay.
And
I never heard of it, but all right.
yeah, Steel is a superhero, and he's played by Shaquille O'Neal. So
Okay.
I've seen it, and let me tell you, Dakota, based on the amount we've watched enough movies at this point, I feel like I understand kind of what you like. I think you're gonna love Steel.
All
I
right.
think you're gonna have so much fun with it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. And yes, Ezra Steele. If you've ever seen Superman and Lois, that's a character on that show. He's in the comics, cartoons. He's basically, essentially, he's this normal guy, and he's inspired by Superman. And there's a comic book called Death of Superman. When Superman dies, four people try to take his place: Superboy, Steel, Cyborg Superman, and the Eradicator. And Steel, he's just a normal guy. He's a construction worker, or he's like what is he? He's like he can build things. I forget what exactly he is. But he works on
Isn't it
like metal and stuff, and he builds himself a metal suit. And he has this
it looks like
giant
looks
metal
like
hammer.
RoboCop.
Yeah, I guess. Well, that's what he looks like in that movie. But
Yeah.
yeah, he builds himself this metal suit, and then he has this metal hammer, and he just fights crime. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Um, yeah, yeah, and Catwoman's gonna be a rough one, but that'll be fun. I think
I
that
like
one,
the big.
Catwoman will be like Supergirl in a way. I think it'll be a fun one to react to. Um, and yes, it is John Irons. That's his name. John Henry
Mm,
Irons, Steel. So that'll be a fun one when we get to that one. Which we'll be at that one very soon because after Batman and Robin is Steel. So
well, yeah,
um,
for us watching it, yeah.
right for us watching it. But all right, cool. So let's jump to the next thing. These we're gonna go through a lot quicker just so we can get to the final thing. We're gonna rank the characters. So I only have the good guys here because we gotta cheer after this. That's the bad guys. Um,
Okay.
so we're gonna just go through this real quick. So here are the tiers. We got the best. We have I like you. We have there, as in like they're just there. We have why are you here? And we have just get out, get out.
All right.
Um,
See how well this goes.
all right, we're gonna start off with. We're just gonna go in order of the characters I have in here. We got the two kids from Return of Swamp Thing.
I mean, technically, from your list, it's why are you here? Because they really don't have any relevant. Oh, is my Discord going out there?
Oh, I don't know. It might have been. Is it?
But yeah, I mean, I'm talking now, so if you can hear me, then I'm back. But
Okay, cool.
my thing was the kids with your list. It's like technically, from what you said, it's why are you here? Because they have no relevance really to like, anything. But
Yeah,
they're
but
so fun, and it's like I'm willing to suspend that fact to be like, you know what, you're necessary to me at least.
yeah, I personally I just put them in the best. Do you agree with
Yeah.
that? I think they
Yes.
gotta be. They're so good. Okay, next up we have Swamp Thing. And I kind of did this based on I have two Swamp Thing pictures in here. One is
Okay.
so this is the one from Return of Swamp Thing. I felt like they were different. I felt like they were different enough that we could classify them
Yes.
as two
Yeah, yeah.
separate characters.
Oh man. I mean, I want to say like he's the best, like one of the best.
I think he's great. I
he's
like
at least
him
up
at
there.
least. I think he's at
Like-
least I like you.
Yes, for sure.
You know what? Because of the voice, I kind of want to put him in just I like you. Because it does bug me a little bit, but I still like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, even again, that's also with me with the voice. I'm just like that's a plus to me. So it's just like that makes it even better. But no, even like his whole thing of I mean, even just the stuff he says, like the quips and whatnot, and then like him doing the thumbs up to the kids. It's like Superman coded in a way. It's just like he's like Swamp Thing Superman. 'Cause
Kind of
it's
like that
Superman's all
feel
like
good
the,
energy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, he's a beast. Like he like beat up like all the people. I don't think did he lose at all during that? He got blown up in the swamp, but then that piped him into the thing so he could save.
I'm pretty sure.
Abby.
I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, Swamp Thing 1 is where he gets beat up quite a bit, but Return to Swamp Thing, he just takes everyone
Well,
down.
even Swamp Thing 1, I'd say he's like indestructible, and it's just like, how can you do that? He got his
That's
arm cut
true.
off. He got his
That is
arm cut
true.
off. That is like, okay, so he's like, he is still losing, even though it's like he technically, I think what they're setting up for that movie is like he can't. He seems almost indestructible. He got
Right.
his arm cut off, and it's just like, oh, well, that's not good, definitely. But just, yeah, and Swamp Thing too, it's just like he melted down into goo and then went into the mansion, and then he knows how to drive a car and like drive out, and like he's when he was fighting the squid, there was like lightning striking, which I don't know if that was what that was
Made
technically.
no sense, but
That made him like so cooler as well. As just like he's
yep.
fighting with lightning, and then like at the end he just wins. Like he blows up the whole thing, and like it's just he's like a beast. He's like actually so good. It's
Heck
like
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so are we bumping him up to the best then, or what are you thinking?
I mine's the best. I'd say he's the best.
All right,
If anything,
I'm
yeah,
okay
he's
with that.
if anything, he's like you could say he's like below the kids or whatever. He's like not the best because of the voice. That's fine, but like everything else is just like that's perfect for him.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely prefer the kids personally, but
Yes, yeah, yeah.
well, since we're on him, Swamp Thing from Swamp Thing, the first one.
Uh, again, I mean, well, okay, so this is very different because also this is I think is more serious, and you're supposed to take him more seriously, and I do. I mean, I'm like he's not a clown in this one, and
No,
it's
no.
like his story arc also. If we're just like, well, it's Alec at first being like, being this happy scientist, he's like, oh, making discoveries and stuff, and then he gets like traumatized, and then like he has to like fight off Arcane and whatnot. And again, like I said, he does technically kind of lose a bit in that, and then he keeps going, and like we see all the different stuff.
Right.
So I do really like that as well. I don't know if there's also a negative for him. It's just a different version of Swamp Thing that I also think is the best.
I don't know if I would say there's a negative. I mean, even though I didn't like the movie as a character, I think he's fine. Like, there's nothing about him that I think that's the one thing. There's nothing necessarily about him that I found like insanely engaging. I think his storyline, I like his storyline. Obviously, his backstory is very emotional and very cool. But I'm also like, after he's Swamp Thing, from then on, he's just all right in my opinion. But I like him. I think he's
Yeah.
cool. Personally, I would put him in I Like You. But what do you think?
I mean, yeah, I still think he's up with the best. Again, I think the more we put these people up here, then the more we can like specify where on the list. But like, I still say he's at the top as well with the rest.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. All right, I'll put him in best. All right. Next up, we got Jimmy Olsen. I'm not gonna lie, Jimmy might have been the character who appeared in the most movies, right? Because he's in all four Superman movies and he's in Supergirl.
Yeah.
So he appeared the most. And despite that, I think he's there.
Yeah. I mean,
He's just always there. He never is like, oh, I love Jimmy or I
yeah.
hate Jimmy. He's just like, yeah, it's Jimmy. I like Jimmy.
I was gonna
But
give him a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt and be like, oh, I like you. It's like, oh, it's nice you're here, but also it's just like, well, certain stuff is just like, well, I don't know if you're supposed to be. I don't know.
I
He's
thought
just like, all
about
right.
my instant thought was I like you, but then I was like, well, but he is just kind of there, you
Yeah.
know? So,
I think him technically being the only bridge between Supergirl and those other Superman movies bumps him up a little bit to be like, oh, he's
I,
also like,
I could hear that. I could hear that argument. That all right, I'll put him in I like you then. All right, next we got Lucy Lane.
Lucy. Oh shoot. Oh. I gotta remember. She was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked her. Oh, she was the
She
only one during the that scene when in the town when the excavator or whatever was going
That's
crazy.
true. Yeah.
She's the only one who jumped into action. She got up there and tried to stop it. Now, did she stop it? No. She got
Yeah.
knocked out, but at least she tried. I kind of
Yeah.
liked her.
That. Also, she was technically kind of somewhat the mentor of Supergirl. Like at
Yeah,
least in
yeah,
terms of the human sense. It's
definitely.
just like, yeah. So that's like actually really important for her to be in the story to like be that character. Also having connections again with Jimmy and all that stuff, so it kind of bridges the gap between is this part of the Superman quadrilogy or whatever. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's good. It fits.
yeah, I like her. I think we should put her in the I like you tier. I think she's a good character. Um,
Does
okay,
Control Minus make the thing smaller?
control minus. Oh, would it?
Try it.
Oh, yeah.
This
Good.
doesn't fit. Okay.
There we go. Cool. Does that look better? Or is that?
If you, yeah, yeah, that's good.
Oh, awesome. Um, oh, I just saw some of these comments. I missed some of these. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
what was the last one? I'll have to put Steel on my letterbox watch list. Yeah, you gotta check it out. By the way, James Gunn said that there is a DC Clayface movie. I heard that's awesome. I'm actually kind of hyped for that. And then Jimmy in the there tier, lol.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's
just
fair. We moved him up. We moved him up. And then yeah, thank you, Curtis. Okay. So next up, I kind of just used this picture twice since they're both in the picture. Let's do Cable first. What are we thinking about Cable from Swamp Thing?
uh, I will say, okay. I think I'm giving her a little bit more. I do kind of like her a little bit more, I think, than you do. At least in terms of what I've heard you say. Maybe it depends. I think at least in terms of like Abby versus Cable, that development of like Cable was dropped in a helicopter to help uh Alec doing his stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
then like they kind of like bonded a little bit at the start, and then when Swamp Thing turned, then it's like, oh well, she's the only thing that's left alive after everything got destroyed, so I got to protect her. And then it was kind of like that back and forth, and it fed that relationship with each other, fed on it well. But in terms of just, oh, and Cable was also like fighting as well, so
Yep, she fought back, and just
If-
to tell you, she was like my favorite part of the movie. To be honest with
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah.
So
So,
personally, I think I like her. I would put her
mm,
in I like you. I don't think
yeah,
she's the best because I don't think she's like I liked elements of her character, but she wasn't one of those characters that like fully stuck out to me as like, oh, I really enjoyed this character. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I liked her. I thought she was good. So personally, I would put her in I like you.
yeah.
But
That's fair. I'd say that's good.
all right.
I agree.
Okay, I don't want to do Superman next, so I'm gonna come back to him.
Mm.
Let's do Jude next. What are we thinking about Jude?
Oh, yeah. Because here's okay. It's kind of weird
This is
because
a tough one.
he's not as entertaining as the two kids and like their
Oh
what they
no.
do in the second movie. But I also think it's brought back a little bit to fit with the theme of Swamp Thing. Is that first one especially is more of like not a comedy. So having a comedy relief character in there, kind of like being kind of goofy and whatnot, but not being too goofy where it's just like why is it's such a tonal shift. It's like he was done well in that movie, I think, where it makes
I
sense.
agree.
And that was the first one where we watched, and I think in terms of like the other, we were watching the Superman movies at that point. Jude was the first character where I think, at least me, I was like, this is the best character out of everything we've seen so far. It's like
Hmm.
this is the only person I care about, and he like dies.
Oh, I know.
He like dies in the middle of it, and it's just like dude, what? And we were so like, oh my god, there's no way.
No way this
Uh,
movie killed a kid. No
yeah,
way.
yeah. So we were like so invested and stuff. He's very much. I think we can't, it's like we also got to rate him higher as well. I think at least maybe the best as well. It's again it's a little different from the other kids, but it's like
Right.
still the same
He's
feel.
either he's either at the bottom based on what we have right now. I think he's either at the bottom of the best or he's at the top of I like you.
Probably the top of bottom of the best
Okay.
is what I say.
I mean, he was my favorite character in that movie, so I feel like he gets props.
Yeah. Did my camera go
Um,
out? What's happening here?
oh, did it?
It was gone for a while, and I
Oh,
thought it would
it
come back.
it's because of Discord and all right, there we go. That's back on there.
Okay.
Um, so hype. I hope it's a lot like Clayface, One Bad Day Story. I know we talked about that, Curtis. Um, should I make a tier list and rank all the DC movies that I've watched so far? Go for it, Ezra. And actually, at Dakota and I in Discord when you're done with it. I would love to. I'm sure both of us would love to check it out.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, definitely do that. Um, oh yeah, after the stream, of course.
Well,
Well,
I
Curtis,
mean,
he's been watching Gotham while we've been doing the stream.
yeah, if
So,
he's watching Gotham
hey,
during it, then I
fair enough. We just
by all
appreciate you
means do
being
whatever.
here. We appreciate you being here. So,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, cool. So, all right, back to the tier. Let's see. I didn't want to do
Any,
Superman next, just because I feel
is there
like
any more Swamp Thing characters? Because I think we were kind of
we were
hitting
doing
all of
Swamp.
those. So.
Let's. Oh, there's one
Who
more.
else is there?
Abby Arcane.
Abby? Right, Abby. Okay.
I think she's there. To be honest, I didn't really. She's just there for me. I didn't really like her. Like her.
Yeah.
She's just there. I didn't. I don't know. She's okay.
Yeah, that's true. I felt more of that connection with Cable, at least in terms of what Cable was like in a relation. There's a difference between like plot relevance and then like actually like forming a relationship. Cable's relationship with Swamp Thing and Alec beforehand was like a good build up to that. But then like yeah, even though Abby is like part of the Arcane family and it makes sense for her to be there probably more than Cable or whatever,
Right.
it's like that relationship didn't build properly to make it feel satisfying.
Yep.
So it's just like, yeah,
I personally think she's just kind of there. Like, I don't think
right.
she's
Yeah.
bad. I don't think she's great. I think she's there. I definitely preferred Cable.
Also, because I'm also trying to remember. Well, because she did fight as well, like probably a little bit harder, right, than Cable. Well, no, Cable was like,
No way.
no,
Cable
no,
fought
yeah,
back
you're
way
right.
harder. Bro, Cable,
yeah.
do you remember they were on the boat? Cable punched the guy in the face or whatever and kneed him and then
Yeah.
dove into the water. Bro, she was
Yeah, it was
she was a
phenomenal.
beast. She was a
But
beast.
also, yeah, I completely forgot in the earlier thing, she like was punching the dude on the ground like crazy, and then like grabbed his gun and was shooting at people in the woods that was coming out. It's like, okay, yeah, she was fine because my thing was like, oh, she like didn't fire a gun or like was doing any of that stuff like Abby did, but no, she did. So
No, she definitely did. She was sick.
yeah, I think yeah.
So, yeah, no, I
Oh.
definitely think we put her in there. She was just there.
Keep disappearing.
Oh, gosh darn it. All right. Just tell me when it happens so that I can quickly fix it.
Is it when you click off of Discord?
No, because you're still on there right now, right?
Well, I'm on here, but if you, 'cause
I'm
I forget how
I'm
I
not
forget
on
how that
Discord right now. I'm on Tier Maker.
works. Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
I think
don't know how that
I think it
works.
just times out or something. I don't know. But yeah, just tell me and then I'll quickly switch back over so it pops you back on. Okay, now that we got Swamp Thing characters out of the way, let's do the Supergirl characters next. So I guess we'll go right to left to a degree. So next we have the love interest from Supergirl, the guy who is basically just a plot device. I mean, he's manipulated the whole movie essentially because Selena puts the spell on him, and then he's not really himself, and
Yeah.
and then he's just like, oh, I gotta save him now. You know what I mean? Like he's just kind of there. If you really think about it, he doesn't have much of a character to him.
That's true as well. It's like he's even like when he was like hardworking and like he's doing like the yard work for the school is when they first introduce him, and then he comes around to hang out at the clown house or whatever. It's just like, yeah, it's weird how like all of that happened.
Like he
But
has
also-
no character traits. Like
Yeah.
he is there, but like I don't know if we could put him in there. I don't know. I mean, I guess I didn't hate him, so maybe he fits the perfect definition of the there category. I don't know.
Yeah, it's what was I gonna kind of in a way it's sweet how eventually he like, oh, I'm brainwashed into liking this one girl, but then like when he eventually does snap out of it, he's like, actually I'm still like worried about her still. I'm not like a bad guy. I'm like I still want to, But even then it was like, well, first you were manipulated into like accidentally falling in love with someone. So it's like that's kind of weird. So
Yeah.
like where there is a positive there a little bit, it's kind of like yeah, the rest just kind of sucks about him. So
Yeah. So what are we thinking? Where should we put this guy?
maybe what's your
I'm kind of between there
why?
and why are you here?
I was saying why are you here? Yeah,
I'm okay with that. I kind of feel that.
because also
Oh,
that is yeah, you don't need love interests for your stories as well. Like I keep mentioning, I actually I'm like if you can make a story that doesn't have like a romantic love interest, then it's like that's probably better.
oh,
Because
and they did the Superman and Lois flying through like the clouds and stuff with him. Except he
when
was
he was
in
unconscious,
yeah, he was in
yeah,
the arcade. What was it? The bumper
bumper
car,
cars.
and she's just flying him, and it was a cheesy replication of the Superman and Lois scene, but nowhere near as impactful or good. It was just like, okay, he's passed out, and
Wasn't even aware of it. Yeah,
she's just flying him, and she does a little like laying her head on him or whatever. And it's like, this is so dumb. Like Superman and Lois did it in Superman because it meant something and it was significant. This
yeah,
means nothing. Like this is weird.
yeah. Like I
So
just yeah, I didn't feel anything about that.
it was a
Yeah.
waste of time. That's what it was. When her people needed to be saved. So, anyways, so okay. Next we have Zoltar. This is the guy who is responsible for her people almost dying. Like it's his fault. He rolled the thing they need to survive with his foot over to Kara, which then she accidentally loses, and it's literally his fault. Like I don't feel bad for
Yeah,
this guy. His fate at the end is deserved.
yeah. Him being in the Phantom Zone is yeah, that's true. Although, kind of in a weird way, I don't know why I like him. It's there's something about him. I don't know. I think maybe just whoever played him is just like
I could
he's
feel the acting presence on the actor.
he had like the charisma in there where it was just like, oh, he's actually like, he's kind of, admits his mistakes even though he shouldn't have made them.
to be
And then
honest.
eventually we got to the Phantom Zone, him being like broken and being like, oh, whatever, I'm supposed to be here, whatever. And then like eventually being like, well, you're not. All right, I'll help you get out. And then like, him helping her leave and whatnot. It was just like, yeah,
Yeah, I guess him helping her at the end is the only reason he's not on the villain list.
right, yeah.
But I don't know. So where would you put him? Because I'm kind of like I don't care about him, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's not. Well, he's not in the movie too long for him to be like decharacterized or whatever, or, like having these weird like conflicts or whatever. It's
Right.
just like sure at the beginning it was like he seemed like the bad guy and then he got punished for it and then he like actually in the Phantom Zone he like gets his second chance to help. So it's kind of like oh that kind of is a character arc and also yeah we don't see him throughout so it's not like bloated of being like oh now we also got to worry about this guy. So I like him at least for what they did with him in the story. It was just enough where it's just like I wasn't like again one of your things saying why are you here? It's like I wasn't thinking about that with him. It's like no, he
No,
fits.
that's true. That's true. So okay, so you would put him in the I like you tier.
Yeah, I could
Okay.
understand there as well, but like I like him. He was good.
I think he's sir. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, like I said, I don't really care about the guy, but so I could see putting him wherever. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't put him in the best. I wouldn't put him in Get Out, but yeah, like any of the three middle tiers, I could see. Um,
And the animated series, by the way, is good.
the animated
They're talking in the
series.
chat. They're talking about in the chat. They're talking about the Batman stuff. I need to watch a bit of the Superman animated series as well to see how that's like. But yeah,
Oh wait, okay, I want to
the
kind of catch up on this.
yeah yeah
Where did where did Dakota? Oh, that's Curtis. Curtis, okay. Um, no way cops broke Jim Gordon out of jail. Oh wait, never mind. It's his cop friend. How are you watching these so quick? Are you watching them in like two times speed? What is going on?
well,
Um,
I guess some people could do that.
I think that's his name. Yeah, that's Harvey Bullock. You might know. Yeah, Batman the Animated Series. Hmm. I'm just focusing on the live action DC movies and shows first. Good choice, but DC's great in animation. That is true. DC kills it in animation. Uh, yeah. Okay.
Although there's still some good shows, right? I mean, like
Yeah, live action shows. There's a few
your
pretty good
Arrowverse or
ones.
whatever.
Arrow's good. Flash is good for a few seasons. The rest are, eh.
Although,
Superman,
yeah, if you were
Superman
to
and Lois, Superman and Lois and Stargirl are both pretty good. But
yeah,
Legends is good for like 3 seasons, and then it's terrible. Batwoman's never good.
yeah.
Supergirl's okay. Black Lightning's okay.
I mean, I
Like,
could
yeah.
understand like if you wanted to compare the DC and like Marvel, whatever the shows or movies or whatever, then yeah, maybe there's some stuff. But even still, the DC, if you like seclude yourself from like the other stuff you've seen, they should, at least from what I understand, they should hold up on their own.
Right. Um,
Where
okay.
am I? Oh no.
Okay, so last couple we have what's her last name? Warfield's daughter, the girl who's crushing on Clark throughout Superman 4.
Who? Sorry.
The one it should have been Lana, but it wasn't. Remember?
Oh yeah,
She likes Clark the whole movie. I
yeah.
actually kind of liked her. She had a story arc. She went from being the I'm rich, I get what I want to the no, we should be, this isn't right what we're doing.
That is
Um,
true. Yeah,
she actually goes on a pretty good I kind of like her. I kind of like her.
that is true. Cause yeah, I guess in terms of the story arc, because I completely, I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea. I was like, who is this? When you mentioned, I was like, I have no idea who you're talking about. And
That's
like even
fair.
looking, I was like, what's her point in the movie as well? Like I didn't even remember. But when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that is actually quite good. Of just like
She's like the only character who goes on a story arc that entire movie. Like
yeah,
she has I don't know. I kind of like her though. I think I really like her energy. I like her character. I don't know. I just kind of like her.
I wonder if you, I don't know.
I don't know. Uh,
Yeah, I think she's pretty good. Again, I'm gone as well, so that needs to be fixed. But yeah, that's pretty good. She's good. She fits in the story, and it's like actually a good character to like follow through with. So
so do you think she's in the
yeah,
I like you tier or the just there?
yeah, I'd say I like you tier.
All right. Cool. Well, next we have her father, Mr. Warfield.
Uh,
I'm kind of
I
like, why are you here? I'm gonna be honest. Why did we have to have that storyline? I don't think we
well,
needed it.
okay. That's also the thing of like, why do we need this storyline? Also because yeah, it how it resolves itself, it's like that doesn't make sense.
Right.
But technically, in the way, it's like I like what he did for the Daily Planet. I like what it's like. He actually like did things right in the movie. I think he didn't like. He wasn't a bad guy. It's
Sure. Yeah.
it's
That's
like
true.
weird. It's because it's just like he was only. I don't think there was anything negative about him. He was only like doing good stuff. Maybe there was some stuff like questionable things of like, oh, I bought Superman's cape, and it's mine now.
Right.
So it's like okay, but also, well, if you got the money to pay for it, and I guess who else is going to have it? And it's like, sure, okay,
That's
makes
true.
sense.
So where do you think he should go?
There.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
Because yeah, again I like him. I think I want him in the movie, but it's also just like again with the character development stuff. Did he like develop at all as a character? Did he need? I don't know.
Essentially, he
Kind of
was
weird.
just the bad guy. He was the bad guy at the Daily Planet, and they beat him.
Yeah,
That was really it.
yeah.
Um,
So I don't know.
he started making the Daily
I don't
Planet money, and then they were like, "Nah, we want it back the way it was." So goodbye. Like, okay. Um, cool. Next character we have is Perry White. In case you don't recognize the name, he's Clark and Lois's boss at the Daily Planet.
Yeah. Sorry, I was spacing out because I'm gone again. I'm trying to think of a way to fix how that could work. Who? Again? Sorry, say it again.
Perry White.
At
He's
for
Superman and Lois's uh like boss at the Daily Planet.
oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was just like spacing. Okay, so the bot, he's good. I like him because I think what people also mentioned during the first movie was saying like how he like believes in Clark and like I forgot specifically what it was, but like
Oh, well, we said that too. We said that in the reaction. We were like, Clark,
yeah,
because it's during that scene where Lex calls him and is like, "Oh, you need to meet me here," whatever. And meanwhile, he's trying to give him this like really nice speech of like, "Hey, like, I believe in you, kid. You could make it, but you got to do better at this or whatever."
I have to remember though. I thought there was something else. Oh, that's okay. So that's what someone because I knew we mentioned that specific thing, but I thought someone else mentioned something else. What they mentioned was when Clark walked down on Perry White, Perry probably thought Kent was cheating on his advice and went out and was just like to get a good story.
Hmm.
So it's just like he actually was just like, Kent, I believe in you. You just gotta put yourself forward and like go and like just do the stuff. And when he turned around and saw Kent left, he probably was like, oh, okay. He like good for him. Just so maybe that was also good. Again, that is also a bit of speculation of like how you interpret it, but even
Right.
interpreting it like that's kind of cool to think about. Even just that scene in general, he was like, "No, I believe in you, whatever." And then like, yeah, he was also running the planet fine as well. It
Oh
was like
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. He's a good
So
boss. Good
yeah,
boss.
he's a good boss. I guess just the only thing is just like yeah, the plot point in four of it being like it's not making enough money. It's just like okay, but like even then, both of the people that took over for the Daily Planet and was the boss of the Daily Planet, both of them were good bosses, I'd say. One was just more of like, well, this is us making money so we could keep the thing afloat, and then the other one was just like, no, I actually have faith in everyone, and everyone can do great things at this company.
Right.
So I say he's pretty good.
So okay, we'll put him in the I like you tier then, because I think he's definitely more than just there. Um, but yeah. All right, we got four characters left here. Let's do Lana. Let's do Lana. What do you think about Lana?
Like the best. She's
Oh,
like the best
really?
character. Yep.
Okay, I don't disagree. I really like Lana. I think she's the actress put a lot of charisma in her portrayal of Lana, and
Yep.
she's really likable in a way, maybe more likable than Lois. Like,
Yeah, that's what I think. I like her a lot more than Lois.
yeah. So, I mean, there's not really much else to say about her. She's just a really good character. Sad to see she did not come back for Superman 4.
Well, again, we're
Um,
talking about like the character development and stuff. Her development with her relationship with Clark, it's like, yeah, they haven't seen each other for a while, and then when they get together again, it's like it's a slow build up of being like, oh, catching up and like, oh, maybe we should go have dinner out in the picnic park. Come to my house for a little bit and whatever. Make sure you call when you're back in Metropolis. It's like they slowly build that up, and also Lana was the only one where she was like, oh, I like Clark a lot, which I think
exactly.
originally that's like a counterpoint to Lois, which is fine because Lois likes Superman, Lana likes Clark. Is like, oh, that's good. But then through the movie, Lana also likes Superman, so it's
Right.
like Lana just likes the best of both worlds, and which then makes Lois seem like what's her deal.
Right.
So it kind of like Lana overdoes it, and it's just like much better than. Also, I think also what I mentioned with the Supergirl, whatever. The fact that Lana was only in one movie, and we didn't get this like repeat of like, oh, I like Clark, but like, oh, he's being weird lately, and so I don't know. And it's like, oh no, he's good at the end, but then the next movie, it's the same thing. It's like you don't get that. You only got one of those arcs in Superman 3, and that was it. Whereas Lois Lane, it's like she's on and off, and then she forgets, and then she's on and off, and then it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
it was just more concise with Lana.
I agree. All right, we got three characters left. Let's do Supergirl.
Oh, Lana's like the Gwen to Lois, and yeah, pretty much.
True. All right, what are we thinking about Supergirl?
Uh, well, I like her too.
I think she's okay. Yeah. There's nothing. There's. It's funny to say because I don't think she's the best character in her movie. Um,
Right.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. I maybe just I like you. I,
yeah, because I mean, I'm like fine with that. I'm fine with putting her up there because it's like, well, I don't know. Oh shoot, man, because it's like she's good. I was
right.
like, I'm right. Okay, so I'm teetering on best, and I like you is where I'm at. Maybe you're a bit lower than that,
Oh
but it's just like,
yeah.
I again with Supergirl and what she is, and like how she's like Superman, but like a little bit different. It's like and how they handle that, I think it's fine. Also, the who you know, I don't know. I just really like Supergirl in this, where it's different enough, but also she does have that same character development kind of as Superman, where like she loses kind of like a loved one, and she also has that love interest, kind of whatever. She's also like
Right.
she goes to Earth and she's like discovering all this stuff and learning like, oh, Earth is actually really cool, and I should like try to protect it because everything's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So it's just like she's good. I mean, like Supergirl as a character is good. It's just also kind of weird. It's just like everything surrounding it to back her up on that kind of falls apart, which I think is where I'm like, oh, that's kind of.
I agree. Um, and that's I just feel like she's fine. Like if she wasn't the title character, I think it'd be no question. I like you. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel
Yeah,
like
true.
I think she's all right. I don't think she's the best. I just don't think she
Yeah,
is. Because I think most of the characters in her own movie are all better than her. Like I think
right.
I prefer all the other characters. So yeah. All right, last two. Lois Lane. We had 3 movies with her. I guess she was technically in Superman 3, but not really. So Superman 1, 2, and 4.
She's like F.
Wait, what? You hate
It's like Get
Lois?
Out. Lois, yeah, I don't know. I do not like her.
Oh my god, wait, what? I was not expecting this.
It's
Oh.
just maybe like okay, the first movie was like okay, it's this love interest, it's fine, but like I don't. Lana's just so much better. I just can't. It's so ridiculous.
Wow. Oh my gosh, I did not expect this. Okay. Um wow. Interesting. I would have put her in if I was doing this by myself, I probably would have put her in I Like You. That's so interesting. So if you're in Get Out and I'm in I Like You, then it's either in there or Why Are You Here?
Yeah, like why are
um
you here? Even though like she's a main part of like the story, it's like why are you here?
I can't believe that.
I just I
Wait.
don't know.
Let's get Ezra in on this. Ezra, are you still here? If you're still here,
Yeah, I mean
um,
just
what do you think
put a comment
about
in there. Like
Lois? Because oh, he already said. Wait, what? Not liking Lois? Dang.
yeah.
Where would you put her? And Curtis, where would you put her too? Oh, Curtis, you
If you
said
want
why are you here? She
look
low key
annoying, yeah. I mean
she low key
that's yeah,
annoying.
kind of. I mean, so like also yeah, like her going to the Eiffel Tower and like getting into trouble on like purpose is just like why oh man because then that's something else extra that Superman has to do. And then like her trying to figure out Clark being Superman is just like I'm gonna throw myself in the river and possibly die. It's just like even if you mention like her throwing herself out the window in like the other cut, it's just like that's still so ridiculous. I understand it like it's for the movie. I guess it makes sense kind of, but just to me, still, I'm just like that's so. Why would you do that?
True. All right, let's put her in there. Or is that?
Why are you
Or
here?
no, why are you here? Why are you here? We'll put her
I
in. Why are you
I
here?
I want her at the bottom, but I'll give a little bit of leniency and be like, she is the love interest. She kind of has,
I think she has
even like
more relevance in being there than this guy from Supergirl, though. So I'll put her above him.
yeah, it's true.
But
At least in the first movie, I was like down with Lois and like her whole thing. But then again, like I said, Lana only had one movie. Lois had three. It's just like she kind of, as the time went on, it was kind of like
that's
I've had
fair.
enough of her already.
That's fair. All right, last one. Superman. I think there's only one place to put this man. He is the
The
best
best.
part of all 4 movies. He's the one, well, and Lex, but like him and Lex are like I won't put him at the top. I think the kids are better, but um,
Yeah.
I'll put Superman right at number 2. Yeah, Christopher Reeve, rest in peace. Love ya. Amazing, amazing job as Superman. And that is our
Yeah,
cheer
I'm also
for the
yeah.
heroes.
There's not
Um,
much you have to say about that, but like also there was moments specifically with him in like the third and fourth movie where like he became evil Superman and like his transformation from that was just like, oh, that's a different side of Superman
acting
that we haven't
chops.
seen. And it's just like that's actually pretty good. And then also, yeah, the other stuff, him switching between Clark and Superman, it's how that's done is also
It's
really good.
amazing. It's so
I will
good.
say specifically, it's I don't mind if it's anyone could have played Superman, and I think part of it's based on the writing. So it's like even if it's just the name Christopher, even people were saying like whoever was who was Clark's dad, actual dad, biological.
Oh, Marlon Brando.
Yeah. So I mean, like even people were like, he's a big actor, and it's just whatever. It's just like, well, in this movie, he's not. He doesn't have it. It's just I don't, you know.
Yeah, and I think
I,
that's a fair
this,
thing to say. I think, I mean, people were ripping on us, but I'm like, nah,
yeah.
I think that's a fair thing to say.
The same thing could have been said for Superman. Of like, I don't care if it's Christopher Reeve that's playing Superman. It's just like it's if it's Superman, if this Superman's good, and he's like actually like very like at the top
Well,
of the
that's the
list. He's
thing.
just like
Like, I don't know Christopher Reeve in anything else. Like, I've not seen any of his other work. I've only seen him as Superman, and he wasn't even the first Superman I ever saw live action. And the fact that I went into it originally thinking, I don't know if he'll top my favorite Superman, and then he did.
mhm.
I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, he's good. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
he's really good. And when we get to the other Superman movies with these other Superman actors, it's gonna be really fun to like see. I'm very excited to see what you think. In comparing them, like who did a better job as Superman.
Right,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I think that'll be really fun. But okay, swiftly moving on to our last tier list, and we'll try to go through this one a lot faster. We have
I
less as well.
sent you an image on Discord if you want to use that as like a placeholder for my camera going out. Because if you just want to have that instead of having to worry about keeping my camera on constantly, but it's up to you. But personally prefer Spider-Man's girlfriend, Superman's love interest. Yeah, at
Wait,
least in
what
terms
was
of
the comment? What was the comment?
as we're saying, because we were talking about the
Oh,
how
shit.
Lana was like Gwen's whatever, comparing like the Spider-Man love interest to like how Superman's was. But yeah, the Spider-Man love interests I think are even better. Even MJ, even as I don't like MJ all that much in the Spider-Man movies, she I think is a lot better than like yeah, Lois in this for sure.
I did. You know what's
Well,
funny? You know the funniest part of this?
maybe,
I
maybe.
edited all 4 Superman reactions, and we've talked about them off camera, and I had no idea you hated Lois.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so funny. I had no idea. That's so funny though. Okay, so let's go through the villains. We'll move through this a lot quicker. Let's start off with my boy Lex Luthor. Where are we putting Lex? We got Mastermind. We got You're Cool. We got Who Are You Again? We got Just Bad. And then we got Trash.
He's best.
He is
Or
a
what? Mastermind.
mastermind. Lex is a G. He's the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
Love Lex. Anytime he's in a
I'm
movie.
yeah, especially when again, it was like the thing like he kind of stood up to Zod. It's like he is just as much as a threat as like Zod is. And Zod is like indestructible and like, is like super powered as like Superman is. So it's like, yeah, that's very cool for like Lex to like be on that same level and actually be a competent villain for Superman.
Exactly. So yeah, Lex, he's a mastermind. And I mean, I know we haven't gone through everybody yet, but he's my favorite. Like, I really enjoy him.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he was in 3 movies and he was great in all 3. I feel like that's got to give him we got to give him his props.
Right, yep.
Okay, next we have his knockoff from Superman 3, Ross. I think just bad. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I could
Just
see an
bad, yeah.
argument for Who Are You Again, because, but
Hmm.
he's just bad. Like, why? You know? What do you think? Do you disagree? Or do you agree?
Oh no, I think it's the same spot. Yeah, just bad. It's because I don't know, because it could have been also talking about behind the scenes stuff. It's just like if Lex couldn't come back for whatever reason. It's like, okay, whatever. But still, Lex being in that movie would have just been better because then he's consistent throughout. So to just have someone else that's like, oh, it's also the same. Like if you're gonna have a new character, make him be something different and not like a alternate version of like the mastermind Lex Luthor.
I know.
It's just weird.
Exactly.
That was, and even him is like, okay, abstain from that. And it's just like, was he good in this movie? I was just like, I don't know.
I just didn't care about him. So
yeah, I was like, oh, whatever.
That's a problem. All right, well, the next character we have is Lenny from Superman 4.
Oh, no, not really. I mean, he's like a decent comic relief character, but I don't.
It was like, I miss Otis, but at the same time, like,
yeah,
he wasn't bad. Like, he had some funny moments.
Who are you again? Is what I put it at.
Yeah, who are you again? All right, let's put it.
Just like in the middle. It's just like he's fine. I do prefer Otis much, but even then, it's like Otis was kind of. I don't know what it was about him because Lenny technically is like Lex's nephew or whatever, right, or something like that. So it's like he has a direct connection to Lex, but I still don't like him. So it's just like, so how did you get someone that is like completely unrelated to Lex, who is Otis, and like still have him feel like he's more has a better connection with Lex? It's just, I don't know. It's super weird.
It could have been like an actor's chemistry thing. Like maybe the guy who played Otis and Lex, they just kind of really got on well on camera, where maybe Lenny and Lex didn't.
Right.
I don't know. Okay, next we have Evil Superman.
Oh,
I kind of enjoy Evil Superman a little bit. I think
good.
he's fun. I think Christopher Reeve nailed it. Because it feels like a different person.
Well, also, it's kind of, you know what, it's teetering on the Return of Swamp Thing, like goofiness, because his evil stuff was like fixing the Leaning Tower of Pisa and blowing out the Olympic torch.
That was a troll. That was a troll move.
It's like, this is evil for him? It's like, that doesn't...
He waited for him to almost nearly light it to blow it out.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's like, yeah, he's not a good person, but he's like comically not a good person. It's different. It's like kind of weird, but also it's like, well, I like it. It's like, you know.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
I don't know. Is he middle? I know it says "Who are you again?" but and obviously he sticks with it. But I don't know if he's you're cool either. Like
no, I think he's cool.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like you kind of had to do that eventually. Be like, oh, an evil Superman. I guess kind of Zod was something like that, or just like, well, it's the same powers, but he has different interests or whatever. So that was probably the best way to do it, was like a parallel. But just straight up being like, let's turn Superman evil, and like, how is that going to resolve itself? It was like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of, I'm interested in seeing how that goes.
Okay.
So,
all right.
yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Zod, and I kind of included Zod, Non, and Ursa, so the three of them together. I figure they're kind of all together anyway.
I liked him as well. Yeah, Mastermind. I don't know if he's like, well,
they did take over the world.
Yeah,
and then they got bored.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah. I didn't even think about that, because I'm thinking like, yeah, they got bored after a while. And then it's just like, so then what was the plot after? Was just to get Superman, because they knew that was part of the lineage. But it's just like, is that the next big step after taking over the world? Is like to rat out or like weed out all the Kryptonians that were left alive? It's like, I don't.
Well, remember, it was because Jor-El voted last, and he said guilty. Remember, because he said
even though it had to be a unanimous vote and everyone else voted the same, whatever.
It has to be unanimous, Jor-El. Whatever you say, I will hold you entirely responsible. It's like, what? What is wrong with you?
Yeah, but also I feel like Zod was, like I said earlier, the evil Superman. That's what Zod was just like, his ideals are different, and it's like he has the same powers for the same reasons as Superman. So he is like the one-to-one like bad guy equivalent to Superman. So it's like, he's like the best way you can do that.
And because Non is involved, we got to put him in at least you're cool because of two reasons. One, he worked throughout the whole movie trying to get his laser eyes to work. And two, The growling
Yeah,
as he would
just
jump at people.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. What do you? Is he better? Are they better than evil Superman? I think yes,
Yeah.
but are they on the same level as Lex?
Yes. Below Lex.
Definitely
Lex I
below
still think
Lex.
tops it, but I think they're very much like up there. Like especially because with how Lex and Zod work together, they did seem the same kind of in a way. At least for the villains, I was like, oh, both of them are equal threats. They're like so. Yeah, I'd
I
say
agree.
that's up there at the top.
All right, next up we have Otis.
Well, the way you have it, Mastermind is probably a little too much of like.
I just came up with titles. Just think of the
Right? Yeah, yeah,
mastermind. That's the best. He's got to be right. It's Otis.
yeah.
He's so
Also,
great.
technically though, it's also shoot because he isn't like the main villain of like who does all the bad stuff. He's like honestly, who was? I mean, again, we'll get to. I think her is she on the
Miss
list?
Tessmacher, yeah, she's on
Miss
there.
Tessmacher. She technically was the good person after a while who like helped
Right,
Superman. I could
right.
totally understand like Otis doing that as well, but he just never did, and he also kind of got like cut out of the story as well after a while. So it's like he's so good, but then he like doesn't come back again. It's just like, oh, that's such a waste. So just he's good, but for how they kind of use him, I think they didn't use him as well as they could have. So he's at least got to be able to knock down like you're cool because it's like he's amazing. It's like he's good, but like I don't.
That's
I don't
fair.
know.
All right, we'll put him at the top of your cool though. He has to be the top for sure. I mean, come on, it's
Yeah.
Otis. I'll never forget the scene where he puts on. Lex goes, Otis, I need my robe, and he brings the robe down to him and walks into the pool with the robe and gives it to him, puts it on him, and Lex is like, next time, Otis, wait until I'm out of the pool to put my robe on, and then his look
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
and then that's
Yeah.
so good. Oh, it's so
Also,
good.
I like Curtis's comment that what he mentioned. Did you see what he said?
Are you talking about you had the two kids on top of the heroes, but not Swamp Thing?
We had out of everyone that was the heroes, we were like the two kids are the best of the heroes. It's
They
so fun.
are though. They're the best. They're my
Not like
favorites.
they weren't even like the heroes though, which is funny as well. They were just like legit side characters, and we were like, oh, they're the best out of everyone. It's just so
Dude,
funny
and
to think about.
they didn't even accomplish their objective. Their whole thing was we got to get a picture of Swamp Thing to make money. And then what happened? They think they got the picture, and then they find out, oh, there was no film in the camera.
Yeah,
Great. But
Otis can't be top.
be top.
Otis can't be top. I still think that. I can't. He's good, but I just.
Yeah. Otis is great though. Otis is great. He's essentially there. He's basically there.
All right, yeah.
Okay. Next up is Selena and Bianca. I put them together. I figured they kind of go together.
Yeah.
I really like these two.
Yep.
Like I mean we mentioned it already. They steal the show. I personally would put them in Mastermind, but like
They're more-
bottom cuz they don't accomplish their goals.
Well,
So
what was okay? That was the point I was going to make. What was their goals?
essentially, Bianca found that guy attractive, so Selena was like, "Well, I gotta have him then." Uh, so basically, Selena was just like, I wanna be petty to everyone. I wanna take whatever everyone loves and have it as my own because, whatever." Essentially, that was her goal.
And then also she had the orb though, so how did that play into?
That
You know what
was
I mean?
just
It's just
a
like
way of accomplishing that, I guess.
it felt kind of weird because it felt like their thing was kind of a little bit all over the place. At least their goals, them together, like synergizing together. Again, I think what we've figured out with this is like Lex and Otis are like Zod and like his crew, and then like the two kids, and then like whatever. The more characters get to interact with each other, the more they can like bounce off their personalities off of each other. So having both Selena and Bianca be together as like the evil duo for this is good to like see the different dichotomy and like what they are like and what they want. But also because of that, they also didn't show, I think, too much what they wanted. It's just they want a guy to love them. It's like, okay, that's not evil. It's just
True.
like that's just like teenage drama. That's not
That is true.
like take over the world is like okay, even if it's basic, that makes sense.
So
But
are you thinking more you're cool?
like the top of your cool, I can understand bottom of mastermind, I guess, but yeah, like the top of your cool is works as well. That's where I would think to put it.
Gotcha. All right, let's do that then. Uh, oh, but are they better than Otis? Gosh, I don't know. Because I love Otis. I'll put them above Otis just because they're the main villains of that movie. But it's okay. Otis is still up there. Uh, oh, okay. Next up, we have. Oh, Arcane.
Oh, okay. He's actually really good. I like him a lot. And the fact that he came back for a second movie was like, oh, he's like actually a reoccurring villain. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just like he was also for him in the first movie, at least to get.
Can I
He
make a
was just
point
like,
real quick? Can I make a point real quick?
okay,
Swamp Thing 1 almost perfectly, and the fact that in Swamp Thing 2 we questioned it as well. He almost fits the definition of who are you again? Because in Swamp Thing 2 we were like, wait, was this guy in the first one? I don't remember. And
that
then
is true
in the
as well,
first
though.
one, when he takes the mask off, we're like, who are you?
You're right. Yeah,
He almost perfectly fits that category.
I
Like,
think at least for the second one, we watched two other Superman movies or whatever, or even Supergirl. I think at that point, like Swamp Thing 2 was our last thing. So when we were looking at it, we were like, did they
true.
bring the same guy back? Because they changed the directors. The voice actor for Swamp Thing was like super different. There was a different love interest. So to see Arcane back was like, what? Is that like actually who we think it is? Because everything
Okay.
else kind of seems like it would be completely different. So that's at least to give the benefit of the doubt for our confusion for that second part.
Yeah.
It's like, but yeah, for that first one especially, that does make sense of just being like, we weren't introduced to his character. He just shows up and it's just like, okay.
Also,
But
by the way, Dakota, Curtis is trolling in the chat. He just said best suit
is he
design. He's saying,
best
I
suit
think he's
for?
saying best suit design, Arcane as the wolf creature.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think he's
That
trolling.
I mean, I was fine with the wolf creature as well. Like what he eventually became. It kind of makes sense of just like, well, who is Swamp Thing going to fight? It's
Sure.
just basic Arcane. Because okay, Arcane is a little bit like Lex, a little bit, because he's like Mastermind wants to using his brains more than anything, but then he decides, actually, you know what? No, I'm going to become the monster by the end, which is like, okay, well, it's different from Lex, because Lex is not going to be like, I want to be Superman. He's just like, no, I'm just going to use my brain to like outsmart everyone.
Yeah.
So Arcane then taking that different pivot and it becoming like a monster fight at the end was like funny.
Sure. And
And like
also
it,
funny that Ezra just said wolf creature question mark.
yeah, you gotta watch Swamp Thing. It's so good.
All right, so where would you put Arcane?
I'd say he's the best. He's like he
Oh
is
no.
he is up there with Lex. I'd say he's like really
What?
good. I will say, okay, his
Crazy.
other dialogue scenes, maybe there was some stuff that, well, no, even that. Okay, so I was editing some of the stuff as well, and I
Hmm.
cut out, like, I know I cut out his dialogue scenes, whatever. But the way he speaks also is like, I'm invested in the way he speaks. Lex, I think, is a bit egotistical, but Arcane kind of has a bit of that egotism, but also is kind of like, actually does sound a bit smart and is like thoughtful and is like slow and like the stuff he says. It's like, I don't know. I just really like Arcane.
Okay, so based on that and based on where I would put him, we gotta put him in your cool somewhere. We'll put him in the middle of your cool. We'll put him right above. Uh, what? I guess he's the main villain. We could put him above Otis. I guess. I hate to keep
Yeah,
bumping Otis down, but it's fine. All
yeah,
right,
yeah.
all right. Next we have Nuclear Man.
Eh.
That's the perfect reaction.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay,
It's just
he's
bad. It's just bad. It might be trash, to be honest with you. But
I do again. I mentioned I think in the movie when they make a new character for your own story, your own interpretation of the story. I think that could work because then it's like, oh, that separates it from everything. But also, it's like, did he? It didn't matter. It just I wasn't too invested in him, so
also,
it's just
Curtis
like
helped. Curtis
whatever.
fact checked us. Bizarro did already exist in the comics, so they literally took
Right? Yeah.
Bizarro and was like, "Well, let's make him Nuclear Man instead because of the nuclear missiles." So,
That's also the thing, though, is it kind of fit as well of just like, well, okay, if you're doing a nuclear plot, then make a nuclear man. That does work, I guess. It would be different if like it was they were dealing with nuclear missiles, and then he came out from the water and was like, I'm deep sea water man. It's just like that doesn't fit. At least it kind of like fit in a way, but like there's only so far you could go before it's just like, well, he doesn't. He's like the dumb strong character. Zod was again. It's like he's Atomic Man was the exact same with Superman, but so was Zod, and Zod was done better. So it's just like,
yeah, exactly. I think he's just bad, to be honest with you. I think he's right there with Ross. At least Ross had charisma a little bit. You know, Nuclear Man was just a weapon, essentially. He was just
right, yeah,
there. And his big, super long nails that could harm Superman. So let's put him in.
yeah, that's true.
Let's put him in just bad.
Put your tier list in the Discord. I want to see that, Ezra.
All right. Next we have. Oh, this is a fun one. We got Gus.
Gus, who is who?
Do you not remember Gus? Sure, we
Not at
remember.
all.
No,
Gus is such a basic name. I don't remember who. Oh, isn't it the?
Richard Pryor, Gus.
Oh, right. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Where would you
These
put?
are.
I had to put him on here because he is a villain. He is. So
Yes, yeah.
he stole
Even
from a
if
guy and then was blackmailed into working for the guy and then tried to blackmail him and then was like, nah, I don't want to be a bad guy anymore. It's like,
yeah,
what? No, no, no.
it was all over the place. He was kind of he was the Otis, like the comedic relief character, and technically I'd say he had a little bit more plot relevance of being of than Otis of being like, oh, I'm gonna steal stuff and then like, hey, let's do all this other stuff and whatnot.
Hmm.
So it's like he kind of fits. Your thing might get messed up here because we got someone else. Oh, never mind. But yeah, it's just it just still didn't work.
So where would you put Gus? I think he's at least enjoyable to watch when he's on screen. And he's
Uh,
smart.
the top of who are you again?
Okay. Okay. I'm okay with that. Right above Lenny.
Yeah.
Okay, I included this guy on here because I had to. It was too funny not to. We got the scientist who gets the big brain, who Swamp Thing just obliterates at the end of Return of Swamp Thing.
Because for the rest of the movie, he wasn't a villain, really. He was just like, he was the aid to Arcane and being like, oh, well, hey, let's, do this and yada yada. This is what we need to help you get better, Arcane. But then, like, he, like, unintentionally, like, gets stabbed by the other woman who's just, like, has this sinister plan and wants to do stuff. So he was, like,
Right.
a consequence of that. But then, yeah, he breaks out of the thing and just, like, you know what, I'm going to start swinging. And then like he doesn't win. He doesn't even do
He
the fact
gets
that he doesn't
destroyed, bro.
the fact that he doesn't do anything is so funny, but it's also like so stupid. It's just so like because it wasn't again, it's like talking about before how Swamp Thing like seems indestructible, but at
Hmm.
least he like in the first movie he like lost a bit and was like he lost his arm or like even if something weird happened, even if like in the second movie you got like his face caved in a weird way and it like kind of grew back or something or I don't know. Again, that's probably too far with like what they could have done back then, but even then it's just like nothing happened where there wasn't even a punch that was landed on Swamp Thing to like make it a fair fight. So it was
I
just
know.
like so ridiculous. Technically, he is like trash because he's so bad,
You're right. He is.
but
Well,
but his involvement in there makes Swamp Thing so much better. So it's
I
just like I
know.
don't. It's
We gotta put him in trash though. It is what it is. Ezra, we'll look at your. I'll pull your tier list up here as once we're done with this.
if you want us to,
Yeah. Oh
but yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
If you'd like. If you don't want us to, that's okay too.
I mean, I'll still
Just
look through it.
let us
I'm
know in the
sure.
chat if you're okay with us pulling it up on screen. But yeah, we got to put this guy in trash. I also just realized I have it in here twice. I don't know if I can just remove this. No, I don't think I can. It's fine. We'll ignore that. Next, we have that weird guy from Return of Swamp Thing, the soldier dude who was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember who I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yes.
All right, where would you put him? Because I think he's just really weird.
He is a good villain because I want him to lose.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, but
It's
maybe
but
like
also yeah, it's just like he's just like the over the top villain where it's just like he isn't I don't care about him at all. At least like in terms of like Lex is like he is a villain that where it's like oh I do want him to lose as well, but it's like I do think what he does is like he's smart and it makes sense for what he does. So yeah, having this guy just be like the over the top bad guy is just like whatever.
hmm
Maybe
I
like who are you?
yeah, I was
Like
thinking
in
the
the
same
middle.
thing. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, yeah, let's throw him there. All right, next we have the girl you just mentioned a few minutes ago who stabbed the scientist dude from Return of Swamp Thing. She
Who
like
apparent yeah, and also the fact that she was in Superman, you said,
she
as
played
well,
Ursa, Zod's
which is
the
like,
girl
oh,
with Zod.
it's actually kind of neat.
It is pretty
But
cool. But maybe just who are you again?
it's weird because again, some of this stuff is also a little different because it's like she was on the side with Arcane and was like kind of, I think it was Arcane's love interest, but like I don't know. By the end, she was doing so much stuff for Swamp Thing and Abby. By the end, where it's just
No, no,
like,
wait. You got to remember, she was doing it for herself because she knew she was gonna be like the next test subject or whatever. So she was like, okay, if I give the keys to this car to Abby, then she'll
that
be
is
a
true.
distraction so that I can kind of get out of here. Or no, it wasn't that. It was if I get Abby out of here, then he can't do the tests, and then I'm okay. I'm in the clear. So she was just buying herself time. That's all she was fully in it for herself. Um,
Right? Yeah.
but uh, she's not bad. She's
Hmm.
okay. I think we should put her. I think we could just put her next to the in the middle tier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Next we have what's his name again from Supergirl? He gets treated like dirt.
Nigel.
Nigel. Where are we putting Nigel? There should be a victim tier on
He's
here.
the victim.
He is such a victim.
Here's yeah, because he is the villain, also a villain though. Like even by the end, I was like, he doesn't deserve to be like part of the good guys
Oh no, definitely not.
that gets away. It's just like yeah,
No, he is a villain. So that's why I don't know where to put him though. Cuz like
right,
it's not
yeah,
like he's who are you again? I don't think. Or is he? Maybe he is. At least
yeah.
definitely to Selena. That's where Selena would put him. Who are you again? Like, oh yeah, you're that guy. All right.
He was kind of funny though to see him like keep doing this stuff. And it's just like it's fine, but yeah, it's maybe like the closer to the top of who are you again, but like not. I don't know.
I
It's
think
whatever.
because of Gus's involvement in Superman 3, I think we should keep him above him, but I think he could definitely go above Lenny.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's just put him in there. All right, last one, Miss Tessmacher. Uh, I don't know. Maybe we just chuck her in.
I didn't. I don't care.
I don't either. That's why I'm kind of
Kind of
like, eh.
kind of I'm thinking like trash. I don't she had plot relevance a little bit to like help Superman out, but again, I was just
Right.
like she doesn't need I
She's
don't
just kind of
know.
there. I mean, she could be. She could be in
Maybe
who.
just bad, but I don't
I could. All right, yeah, let's do that. She's just bad, but not above Nuclear Man.
yes,
And
yeah, fine.
I'll give Ross the benefit of being above her. Maybe I don't know. All right. Well, anyways, that's our tier. Oh, look, we made a perfect. Oh, almost perfect. We needed one more in the mastermind tier. You know what? This guy has a big brain. No, I'm just joking. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't get him out. Oh well, that's fine. He can be with him. The same picture down there. Um.
Oh yeah, you got two of them. Put one of them up at top, and then put the other one at trash.
Oh wait, no wait. This would be perfectly balanced, wouldn't it? Because now it's two bottom, two top. Oh no, but we're missing one in the just bad tier.
Yeah.
So it was uneven no matter what. All right. Well, anyways, so this is our list. So far, Lex and Zod are the best villains we've had, followed
Oh
up
no,
by, huh?
nothing. I was just gonna mention. Ezra said if we wanted to look at the tier list, we could do that.
Oh yeah, yep. But yeah, so Lex and Zod are the top two, followed up by, oh my gosh, why am I forgetting? Selena, Arcane, Otis, and Evil Superman.
Hmm.
Then we got Gus, Nigel, Lenny, the random soldier dude from Return of Swamp Thing, and then uh, Ursa, but not Ursa in Return of Swamp Thing. Then below them we got what's his name? Knockoff Lex. I can't think of his name for some reason. Um, Miss Tessmacher, Nuclear Man. Gosh, it's killing me. What's his name? Do you remember? Frick.
Sorry, I'm like
What?
half paying attention. Who?
What's his Ross. It's Ross. It's Ross. Uh
Hmm.
and then and last place is I mean I didn't even really need to include the guy, but the scientist dude from Return of Swamp Thing.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's our tier for that. So that's all of our tiers. And now let's go over okay, let me oh shoot. Well, you're gonna disappear for a second, Dakota.
Yeah,
But
like that hasn't been happening.
I know, but
I
like
think it's fine.
I'll pull this up. All right, is that full screen on? That is not. Why is? Oh shoot, duh, because it's you. Actually, what I'll do so I don't mess this up. Hold on, real quick. I will get this pulled up. Let me go to. Let me go back to here. Or no, wait, cancel.
I mean, looking at the stuff here.
Okay, I've got that back, and then let me add it. Okay, I want. No, I guess that again, and then I will have this up momentarily. Oops, shoot. And then I just gotta flip it to right here. Wait, is that it? Oh, yeah, yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. Full screen. And voila.
Yeah, and there's all the
Yeah, let me move all that out of the way.
different stuff there.
Try to make it full screen. Here, wait, let me do that. That's good. And then let me put it behind us so we can be seen. Oh. Oh, that's annoying. That should have kept you on there. Because I made it a new one.
Yeah, I think well, there was also there's different ways to get me on there as well. Which
Oh, right.
I mean, outside of Discord, but we'd have to
Oh,
talk
well,
about
it's
that
fine. We'll
off
just,
the stream. So
we can
yeah.
hear you. That's, and this will only be up here for a second. Okay,
Yep.
so Ezra's
Can just
ranking we have here. Uh, oh, wait. Why did I lose it again? What the frick?
Did you? Uh-oh, deleted.
I don't know what happened. Wait, hold on. This is so strange. Let me... Wait, which one is this? Oh. Double click. There we go. Why did that switch? I don't understand. I don't understand Discord. Anyways, okay. So, looking at the list here. Oh, that's why. Sorry, I'm like trying to figure this out at the same time because I'm like so
Yeah,
I just don't understand.
it's ranking so far, Ezra. Yeah.
Wait, that's
I mean,
me.
I could kind of see it up there, so we can mention because some
Oh
of that
no.
stuff.
My
Again,
Discord.
I'm watching. Uh oh.
Oh
Okay.
no. Oh, okay, good. My OBS froze for a second, and now I'm frozen on camera.
Hmm.
Love that. Oh no. I feel like my
Well,
camera's like blowing up or something.
yeah, we are watching through the stuff. So yeah, the Superman movies, the Batman movies, except for Batman and Robin. Like we said, we gotta do that. Out of the other stuff I've seen, though, I don't think I mentioned this, but yeah, I've seen the Batman, the Dark Knight trilogy. I think I don't remember anything from Batman Begins though, so that would be like a fresh kind of start there. Lego Batman, yeah. Shazam 1 I've only seen.
I figured
So
it
from your list,
out.
that's like all the stuff that I could like comment on. Like yeah, having the Batman at the top is very good. I feel like and I also saw you guys talking about stuff about how the Batman 2 how it needs to come out or whatever, or like how it's delayed or whatever. My thing with that, because we're talking about the old movies, I haven't talked about like my thoughts on like the modern stuff. I kind of am just like I'm indifferent of like whether sequels happen or not. Even if they mention stuff, even like the James Gunn Superman thing, I know that's what we're kind of leaning up to. I didn't start watching all these movies specifically for that. I know Blake is like that's what he's pushing for, but
Right.
like uh anything that's like potential sequels or like stuff that doesn't have trailers yet or like there's just been so much instances of stuff getting canceled or pushed back so much where it's just like I'm just gonna wait until the movie comes out and then that's when I'm worried about it. So
So, and looking at your list, Ezra, just to get my thoughts on it real quick. Yeah, Superman 3 and Batman and Robin being in trash. I get it. I get it. In the not good, Superman 4 and The Flash. Yep, I get that too. Batman Returns being mid. Fair. That's a weird one.
I might have put that a
Um,
little lower, but that's yeah, it's fine. It's good.
good tier, we got Superman the movie, Batman Forever, Man of Steel, Dark Knight Rises, Shazam, and Batman Begins. Okay, I like all those movies. So, and then in the super tier we got Superman 2, which yeah, I like the director's cut a lot. Batman 89, great movie. Shazam 2, really? That's interesting. I like Shazam
Yeah.
2. So that's cool. The Lego Batman movie, great movie. Dark Knight, great.
Yes.
Blue Beetle, great. And The Batman, great. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much there with you, dude. I like those movies. So, nice list. I like the list.
Yeah. I mean, out of all of them, yeah, the Batman being the top is probably the one that I focus on more because the rest of them is just like, yeah, but it could be up to interpretation or whatever. But
I'm trying to
it just the
actually, I
Batman, I
should.
think, is like the best out of all of them,
So
and I can
these.
understand why wanting to wait for Batman 2 was like such a big thing as well.
Right. So these are all the movies you've seen. Out of the ones you haven't seen that I would highly recommend, I would highly recommend Wonder Woman. That's a really good one. Um, yeah, I would definitely recommend Wonder Woman. I think that's really good. I would really recommend. What else would I really, really recommend? I'd probably say. Well, you've seen all the It looks like you've seen all the Batman movies, so that's pretty cool.
Mm.
Um. Oh, the first Aquaman. Aquaman 1 is really good.
Yeah.
I would definitely highly recommend that one. Um, and to be honest,
Justice League,
no,
Suicide
no.
Squad, no.
Maybe the Suicide Squad, not Suicide Squad, but the Suicide Squad. That one's a bit better, quite a lot better than the other one.
Yeah,
And
yeah. There's
I enjoyed it.
yeah. I was just throwing stuff out there to think like, yeah, the Suicide Squad's good. I'd say Justice League is probably kind of worth. Not I don't know.
I think if you're willing to watch the 4 hour Zack Snyder's Justice League, that is really good. But the theatrical Justice League, it's just okay. It's
Right? Yeah.
not amazing, but it's all right. And
Yeah.
Dakota and I mean, Dakota and I are gonna watch the theatrical just because I don't really have time to edit down a 4 hour movie.
I
Um,
mean, if that's the one that I have to edit down, I'll do that. But
I
if you're
don't.
planning on doing the theatrical stuff, that's also we'll do that as well because I
I
think
think
that'll
at
be
this
more
point
fun.
we're already on the theatrical train, so we'll just continue that way.
Yeah. Okay.
And if people are like in our comments being like, how dare you watch this one? You got to watch the director. Cool, then we'll watch the directors. But yeah,
Got to rewatch some of them. Yeah,
but yeah,
that's also
those would be my recommendations. There's really not
that's
that
also
many others.
yeah, that's also how I feel with like some of this stuff. I just need to rewatch again, even like the Superman movies, because we've done the reaction that we've had time to digest it, and then like other people have told us like stuff about it, and it's just like, oh, that's cool. So maybe I need to like rewatch some of the Superman stuff as well. But yeah, it's very much worth rewatching some of those movies to like get different
Oh,
perspectives on it or like
oh my.
digest it more. Ezra.
Also, Ezra, you gotta watch Joker. If you haven't seen Joker, because it's not on
Oh
your list, you
yeah,
gotta watch it. It's so good. I can't believe I forgot about it. Don't
yeah.
watch the sequel. That's terrible. Even though Curtis would disagree. But watch the first one. I love the first one.
I'm so curious. I'm
Top
curious about
tier.
the sequel because I haven't seen that either. And that was
Oh,
the sequel came out right when we started like recording the stuff. So I was like, oh, that one I have to like. I knew I had to wait. The other ones was just like choice of being like I don't whatever. But that one I was like, okay, let's hold
right.
off on this. So
Um,
that I'm excited to like actually watch that and see what that's like. But I gotta wait
uh,
for so long now. So
yeah, it's a long time from now. And also, my last recommendation, Birds of Prey. That is also a very good, highly underrated one.
yeah,
I really enjoyed that one, so I highly recommend that one. But that's probably all I recommend. Okay, let me get Dakota back up on screen here.
yeah. Did you say surprise whatever or
Yes, time for the last thing of the stream.
okay?
All
I
right.
don't know what it is, so
Oh,
I'm
Curtis is
also
here.
curious.
Curtis is here. Good. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. Oh,
wait,
is
hold
that
on. Let me.
relevant?
It is.
Uh-oh.
It is. Oh shoot! Because I
Uh-oh.
gotta resize this. Hold on for me. Uh, let's see. So Curtis, if you're at your computer, go ahead and like unmute and if you could pull up screen share the thing. I
Nice.
almost blew that.
Yeah,
Anyways, I have a feeling he is not at his computer.
possibly.
Oh, I can't. I'm deafened. I didn't deafen you. Um,
Oh, is there something you got to do with your Discord thing?
I don't know why I
But that
would.
should make sense though. Hold on.
Oh, I bet it is. I bet it's some kind of permission thing. Although I don't
That's fine.
know.
We could join a call and do that.
Wait, hold on real quick. Let me just quickly go into. No, wrong thing.
Yeah. So we'll get that figured out here.
Let me just
I
give
mean,
him the
yeah.
permission. Even though I think he should have permission, but
Does it
uh
say here he is?
oh, here we
It
go.
doesn't.
I
It
got
does say
it.
he's VIP. So
I got it. I got it figured out. It's
yeah, I think if you give him
turning it
VIP, it
all
should work.
on. I guess I had it all turned off, but okay, save changes. All right, Curtis, try it now. I think you might be able to unmute now. I just like checked a bunch of boxes. Oh, oh,
Yep. There we
Hello?
go.
yay!
Yo.
Hello,
You guys
Curtis.
sound alright on your end?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds
Oh,
yeah, it sounds all right. It's a little
sound good to
like
me. I don't know if
a little weird sounding, but
like you're on
it's fine. Wait, talk real quick.
you're on a phone call.
Hello?
Yeah, you sound like you're from through the phone, which is
Like
fine.
too far away? Or, like, is
No,
that better?
yeah, that it'll work, Curtis. It'll work.
That's good.
Alright.
All right, so go ahead and screen share your screen.
Okay. Let me figure out how to do that. Okay. I brought your scores if you want those. Unless you already found them.
Oh, like the scores we've given the other movies.
Correct.
Do you have them like written down?
Yes.
Could you like go one movie at a time and just tell us what we scored real quick?
Sure. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh wait, actually,
So-
hold on, real quick. Sorry. Let me just. I want to get Dakota's cam on here
Yep.
real quick. I have
Yeah, my
him
computer doesn't have a
basically.
camera, so.
That's okay. I'll probably just have you off screen and just have you audible. Um, let me make you bigger and then hold on for me. Almost got it.
All right.
All right, Curtis, go ahead.
All right, so we'll start with Superman 1. Dakota, you gave it an 8. Blake, you also gave it an 8.
If
Okay.
I were to, I would say, because that was the first movie and I haven't like changed it around all that much, especially since the later movies and stuff has been different. I would probably knock it down to a 7.
Mm.
But that's just to make my list in my head clearer of the stuff. But yeah.
All right, Superman 2, you guys both had a 5. You guys were pretty consistent on the first two.
Mhm.
Swamp Thing, Dakota, you gave it a 9. Blake, you gave it a 3.
I might bump that. Yeah, that also to fix it, probably bump that down to like an 8. To
That's what you said in the Return of Swamp Thing. So
Yeah. Okay.
pretty consistent. For Superman 3, Dakota, you gave it a 3. Fitting. And Blake, you gave it a 4.
Okay. That makes sense.
Supergirl, Dakota, you gave it a 5. Blake, you gave it a 3.
Oh, okay. That also makes sense.
Yeah.
Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, Dakota, you gave it a 2. And Blake, you gave it a 3.
Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
And the most recent one, The Return of Swamp Thing, Dakota,
Yeah.
you gave it a 9. Blake, you're the first one to give a 0.5. You gave 7.5.
I gave it a 7. I might have to up that to an 8, at least. Maybe
Alrighty then.
maybe even an 8.5.
Whoa. We're jumping now.
I might have to, bro. The more I talk about it, the more I'm like, I loved that movie. So,
All right. Well, are you guys ready for this?
just
Fun game
one quick second as I'm just kind of
Jeopardy.
changing how my screen looks. And then
All right. Well, I'll explain the rules a little bit.
All right, I'm ready.
So what will happen is, Dakota, you're gonna start, and you're gonna choose a random cat or whatever category you want, however much you want. You cannot
Also,
lose
wait,
points.
real quick.
So
Sorry to
Go
interrupt.
ahead.
Thank you, Ezra. I appreciate it. He said, "Well, good scores, guys." I appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, continue, Curtis. Continue.
Okay. So you do not lose points even if you get the question wrong, except for I believe the final question. But that's all right. We'll get there when we get there. And if the person gets it wrong, I will not reveal the answer right away, as the other person will get a chance to steal.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Give me one quick second, as I just want to add a background to us. Okay.
Okay.
And I just got a
Background.
image, add existing image. Okay. And then I just got to throw that in the back. Oh, almost.
Oh my.
Yeah. All right. There we go. All right. I'm ready.
Are you? Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. All right. Dakota, you get to start. Choose your category.
I mean, we'll just go basic to start off, so it gets harder over time. We'll just do good eyes and ears for 100.
All right. Finish the quote from Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing said, "You said it yourself. I'm a plant." Abby said, "That's okay."
Oh God, this is easy.
Oh, I know it. I know it.
You know it? How do I not know
Yes,
this?
I actually know
Hold on.
it.
Finish the quotes.
There's no time limit. Don't worry.
Oh,
about
I'm a vegetarian.
it. That is correct.
Yep,
What
that
is
was-
what is I'm a vegetarian? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, that was deafening. I don't know how to turn that off either.
I only remember it. I only remember it because when I was watching the finished edit that you sent me, Dakota, when it got to that line and he goes, "I'm like a plant or whatever," and she goes, "That's okay because I'm a vegetarian." I was like, "What the heck?"
I thought that I interpreted that as like that was the first movie, and I was like, what happened during the first movie? And I was like, oh, right, okay. So okay.
All right. Now, do we want to swap to the other player? Probably to give him a chance.
Yeah. Because we don't got a buzzing thing, so yeah.
Okay. So go ahead, Blake. Choose a category.
Okay. Hold on. Let me look. It's really small on my screen, so I'm just trying to
Okay,
see.
so I can read them to you. There's Good Eyes and Ears, movie releases, behind the scenes, heroes and villains, Superman's World, and Miscellaneous. I will say I tried my best to categorize these. Some of them are very stretched, but
All right,
Okay.
let's go. Let's go heroes and villains for 500. Let's go.
alrighty.
Let's do it.
Which of these movies, out of the 7 you guys have watched, were released by another company other than Warner Bros?
Oh no. How? Wait. Do I get to know how many?
You do not. That is why it's a 500 level question.
Okay. Oh, frick. This is tough. It's a good 500 question. I'm going to go with Swamp Thing 1 and 2 and Supergirl. Swamp Thing 1 and 2 and Supergirl.
All right. That is correct.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Oh, okay, good. I was kind of worried that would be too easy.
Oh, that's so loud. I'm sorry. I don't know how to turn that off.
To be honest, it's not even loud for me. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, well, this is
Yeah, I turned it down on my. I could turn down my Discord thing here, so it's
okay.
But you are also directly streaming it from your computer, so it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a free website, so.
Yeah. Maybe
All right.
go to your audio mixer and like mess around with that.
That's all right. We'll be fine. Okay, Dakota, choose your category.
I'm curious with behind the scenes, like what that
Okay.
question's like. So behind the scenes, 300.
Whose main complaint about Superman 3 was it that it's too comedic?
Who's like out
Can
of
okay, so
out of
out
who?
of the behind the scenes stuff. Oh,
out of any of the people in the film.
Oh.
Oh, I feel like, oh man, Superman 3 specifically. Because I feel
Yes.
like I have an idea, but then someone else is coming to mind for me. Whose main complaint was, oh God, oh no. Was it Christopher Reeve?
It was not. Blake, would you like to steal?
Oh shoot, that was actually gonna be my guess, but I can try.
Okay.
See, I'm almost thinking maybe it wasn't an actor. I don't know the director's name, but could I just say the director? I don't
You
know.
can, but that is wrong.
Okay.
So you guys both got it wrong. The answer was Richard Pryor.
What?
He wanted this to be his entrance into more serious movies.
Oh,
He-
well then he failed that because they just made him the comedic character.
Yep.
Right, yeah. I think that I was kind of teetering on that a little bit, but I was like, is that
Huh.
what he would say? I guess so, yeah.
That
all
is
right.
what he said. All right.
Interesting.
Next question for Blake.
Okay. Well, I really like the heroes and villains category, but let's try to do a category we haven't done. Let's do Superman's World for 100.
What was Christopher Reeve's favorite Superman movie?
Oh, see, okay. Well, it's 100, so it's got to be Superman 1.
Incorrect. Dakota, would you like to steal?
Superman 2.
That is correct.
Okay.
Frick. Gosh darn
I was
it.
gonna say Superman 1 as well. I was like, 'cause that was the only good one.
Okay, Dakota, it
I
is
do-
your chance.
Well, I don't know if that's gonna be one of the questions that comes up, but whatever. Movie releases 500.
Ooh.
All right, going big here.
Take the lead here.
What DC movie finished filming right before the Return of Swamp Thing started to film?
Oh, I know it.
What DC movie finished filming? And this is grouped up with the movies we've seen, or it could extend out from there.
It could extend out. That is why it's a 500 level question. But it is DC, so.
Oh, actually, wait. Huh.
Batman.
That is correct. Batman 89 finished filming
Knew it.
Yep.
right before they started filming.
Because I noticed
All right.
that it was Swamp Thing and Batman was released the same year, so I was like, oh, okay, that's
Yep.
interesting.
And Batman finished filming before Swamp Thing even started.
Yeah.
But Swamp Thing was
Oh.
released first. Or the Return of Swamp Thing. I
That
should
is
say.
weird as well, though. Oh, I didn't. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense,
All
though.
right.
They were probably like the pressure's on with Batman trying to make sure it's like right. So
Yep.
that
Right,
makes
yeah.
sense.
All right, Blake, it is your
All right.
question.
Well, I gotta go for the category we haven't done. Let's go miscellaneous 500.
Oh, he's going big.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
What film was released by a company that later merged with Sony?
Okay, well that's gotta be one of the companies that. So it's either Swamp Thing 2, or Supergirl. So, um, hmm.
I like when
Let's go. Let's go Supergirl.
That is correct.
Yes! Yeah!
what was the company?
It was
What?
TriStar Studios, and they eventually merged with Sony.
Let's
And
go!
then they made what? What was their movies?
Well, Sony would be anything nowadays. That'd be most of the. It was the animated Spider-Man movies. So Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse. It'd be the Sony movies. So Craven, Venom, Venom 2, Venom 3.
That makes sense.
Morbius.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if there was like a specific like they just merged. There wasn't like they like merged,
Exactly,
but they were their
Ezra.
own studio still, or
That is correct. They just merged. 'Cause
okay, they just joined
the
the group.
TriStar lost a lot of money, and Sony bought them right up.
Okay.
So there you go. All right, it is your turn.
Behind the scenes 400.
Who were the kids that Superman saved in the tornado in Superman 4: The Quest for Peace in
I
real
don't-
life?
I don't even remember a tornado. What?
Real life? What?
Wait, what? In real life?
Yeah. Wait. Hold on. I
That-
don't know.
I don't even. I have no
I,
idea.
I don't remember that scene at all, so I didn't even know. Oh no. Like Jimmy and Billy.
No. All right, Blake, your steal.
Wait. Can I ask, like, what do you mean by in real life?
Who are they? Who are the actors?
Oh, did they eventually become like
I can't answer that, but
Oh.
Robert Pattinson and
okay, no.
Jim Carrey?
No. All right, Blake, your chance.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's a hard question. It's a very hard question.
Wow.
like the kid
I
from
don't
The
know.
Christmas Story
Scarlett
or-
Johansson. I don't know.
Incorrect. Christopher Reeve's actual kids.
Oh, okay.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
I feel like there was something like that I
Alrighty.
read, so I kind of vaguely remember.
And
That's a hard question.
I agree with you, Ezra. Venom 1 was good. Venom 2 was okay. I haven't seen Venom 3. But, yeah.
That wasn't
Fair.
all too good, but
All right, Blake,
Haven't
it's
seen
your
it,
chance to extend this lead.
yep.
Yeah, but I'm going to go for... Let's go Good Eyes and Ears 300.
Good eyes and ears 300. Here we go. What other physical cosmetic appearance, other than glasses and clothes, did Christopher Reeve change when he played Clark Kent versus Superman?
His hair?
That is correct.
Yeah.
His hair was parted the opposite way.
Wait,
which
really?
I
I didn't even
Yeah.
notice that.
I never caught that, and then I went back to fact check it, and it is 100% true.
Oh,
That's cool.
that is interesting. I like that.
So, all right, Dakota, it is your chance.
We'll go for it. Even though I think I'm definitely gonna get this wrong. Superman's World for 500.
In the scene where Superman uses a rebuilding power, what was the main reason for him getting that ability?
Oh.
Superman
With the Great Wall of China.
Yes.
Do you
Okay, I
that?
remember that. Yeah, Superman 4. He was doing it.
Oh.
Wasn't? Oh.
It
You
could
actually
be a reason
have?
inside the movie or outside the movie.
It
So
was.
it could be an external reason or an internal reason.
Was that like his weird laser eyes things where he had like the telekinetic powers that was putting it all together?
Might be.
That's what
Might
that
not
is what
be.
he's talking about.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
So,
my answer is like his telekinetic laser eyes.
okay, that is incorrect. Blake?
Something to
And-
do with the comics?
and-
Maybe he had the
Hang on,
ability in the
hang on.
comics.
Maybe Dakota misunderstood this. What is the main reason for him getting that ability, not what used it.
Like, okay, so what
Not what he used
allowed
to.
him to do it?
Right. Sorry, maybe you misunderstood that because you said the red laser eyes, and I'm like, well, that's kind of what he used, but
I mean, well, I feel like I'm still not gonna get it right because
I mean that's up to you. That's up to you.
my answer that would probably make sense is the sun because that's his whole thing in Superman.
Okay, no, that is incorrect.
How about the green crystal that he has in the movie?
No. All right,
Dang
so
it.
that's why I said internal or external.
It's from the comics, right?
Not enough budget to get more film, so they reused the one from knocking it down and reversed it, rather than the original intent to have him super speed to rebuild it.
Oh my gosh, it was a budget cut. Oh, that
It was a budget
sucks.
cut because he was gonna have super speed to rebuild it, but they did not have any
And
film.
that would have
left.
made more sense. Oh, I hate
Yeah.
that. I hate that.
All right, Blake, it is your chance.
My chance, I'm winning.
It's your turn now. I know.
Let's go heroes and villains for 100.
Adrian, I don't even know if I said that right. Barbeau, Alice Cable, and Swamp Thing. There you go.
Mhm.
Went on to voice what famous character for Batman the Animated Series?
This is 100 question. This is for 100? Oh,
Yep.
crazy. I don't I shot in the dark. Oh. Wait. Montoya?
Incorrect. Dakota, would you like to steal?
Catwoman.
That is correct.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, the first person that came
That's
to mind.
why it was a 100 level question.
Yeah.
I figured that was the easiest answer you could give.
You know what's
But I
sad
guess
is
I'm wrong.
I was between Montoya and Poison Ivy.
Yeah, that's really bad since we literally saw Poison Ivy in person, but that's fine.
Oh, I don't remember. Okay.
All right. Anyways, Dakota, it's your turn. You're catching up.
Movie release is 100.
Movie releases 100. What movie was considered to be the lowest rated DC film ever on Rotten Tomatoes, tied with Catwoman 2004 at 8%? No, it's not on there, but I meant to put it on there. And yes, it's one of the movies you've seen.
Right, yeah. It's...
Okay.
Oh, man. Because, oh, no. Because is that... Swamp Thing. That's... I don't... Yeah, Swamp Thing. I'll lock it in, but that feels like...
That's incorrect. Blake, would you like to steal?
Is it Supergirl?
It is Supergirl. She has an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. All right. Blake, it is your turn.
Let's go miscellaneous 100.
What movie came to Wes Craven during the production of Swamp Thing?
Wait, okay, hold on, let me think. I gotta think about when it came out. It was
Right. There's multiple.
It was Nightmare on Elm Street.
That is correct.
Oh, yeah. That was a Scream.
All right. Dakota, is your turn.
Behind the scenes, 100.
Behind the scenes, 100. What actor/actress had to redo shots due to so much change in physical appearance? You can name the character. That would be fine if you don't know.
Name the character. Actor and actress who had to redo shots because of the physical appearance change. I'm trying to think. Physical appearance change. Reshoot. Lex Luthor?
No. Blake, it is your turn.
I'm gonna go down a similar route and go Lois?
Incorrect. Both of you.
Dang.
Christopher Reeve himself.
Yeah, I thought...
He was
Oh.
going through such a rigorous training that by the end of the movie, he looked double the size of when he started. So they had to reshoot the beginning of the film.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right.
kind of figured, but anyway.
Blake, it is your turn.
Let's go Good Eyes and Ears for 500.
Oh my, he's going big here. In the original Supergirl movie poster, what was wrong with the Statue of Liberty?
I'm gonna go with something that I'm probably wrong, but
Okay.
maybe it was facing the wrong way.
What does that mean?
Like maybe the instead of the torch being in one hand, it was in the other.
That is correct.
Yeah! Oh, shoot. Let's go.
I mean, what else could have been wrong with you?
I mean, there could have been a lot. Wrong amount of points on the crown.
Or in the Batman movies that Dakota and I have watched, it says Gotham on it,
That is also true.
on the crown.
Yeah.
I remember that
All right,
because of
Dakota.
Batman
I
Forever.
need you to start coming back here. It is your turn.
We'll go behind the scenes 500.
All right, he's going big too.
Come for me.
Which films were the main protagonist, Superman, Supergirl, or Swamp Thing, not Alec Holland, the top billing?
Top billing as in...
Highest paid.
Okay. Ooh.
Which movie was the main actor the most paid? Is that what
Movie or movies, correct.
Hmm.
It might be one, it might be more. Cannot answer that.
That is a hard question.
That's why it is a 500 level.
But what? Swamp Thing?
Is that it?
Yeah. Is there supposed to be more? Am I supposed
That's
to say
why
more?
it says film or films. You could choose one or more. If that's your only guess, that's fine.
Okay,
It might be one, it might be more.
Superman and Swamp Thing were paid the same.
Okay, you do know what I mean, right? When I say highest billing?
I think.
Okay, so it
Highest
means
billing.
which actor in each of those movies was like, so Superman, was he the highest paid in 1, 2, 3, or 4? Or more than that? Supergirl, was she the highest paid as an actress in her movie? Swamp Thing, was he the highest paid in his 2 movies? You see what I mean?
Okay, so you just choose one of them.
You could choose
No.
one or more. No, so
Basically-
like each
wait,
movie
hold
has
on,
a highest
hold on,
paid.
Curtis, hold on. Okay, so Dakota, as you know, every movie there's one actor is paid more than everyone else. Essentially,
Right,
what
yeah.
Curtis is asking is, out of the 4 Superman movies, the 2 Swamp Thing movies, and Supergirl, which movies had Christopher Reeve get
Film.
paid the most, or Helen Slater who played Supergirl, or the guy who played Swamp Thing? And you can name multiple because in their respective movies, they could have been the most paid actor on that film.
Okay,
Do you see what I'm saying?
sure. Maybe.
So like Christopher Reeve could have been the highest paid actor on Superman, Superman 2, Superman 3, but maybe Superman 4, Lex was paid more than him. So then your answer would be Superman 1, 2, and 3 because Christopher Reeve was paid the most on each of those films. You see
Okay.
what I'm saying?
So pick the
So pick the movies where that main actor was paid the most on that film.
and you want me to do that with all the actors or just whoever was the top of everyone?
Well, because the
If
main
you tell,
so
Go
basically
ahead,
because
Blake.
the main character of Superman 1, 2, 3, and 4 was Superman.
Should
Supergirl.
Blake just answer this?
No, wait,
I
hold
might as
on.
well at this
You-
point.
Listen.
you might need the points, my
No,
friend.
listen. Okay, listen. So on Superman 1, 2, 3, and 4, Superman is the main character. On Supergirl,
Right.
Supergirl is the main character. And on Swamp Thing 1 and 2, Swamp Thing is the main character. So basically what Curtis is asking is what out of the movies we watched was that main actor or character, right, paid the most money out of the rest of the actors in that film?
That specific movie. Okay.
Yes.
Well, Christopher Reeve wrote for Superman 4, so I'd imagine he had some bout of money, of at least enough for that, maybe. I don't know. Supergirl was the only one that she was in, and then Swamp Thing, I'd say Swamp Thing 2, because that's like a later one, and it... So, Swamp Thing 2, he was paid the most, Supergirl, and then Superman 4.
Well, hold on, wait before you lock that in. The other thing is Christopher Reeve could have been the top paid on multiple movies. Do you see what I mean? Like, let's say because Lex was in Superman 1, let's say
Okay,
he
so-
was paid the most in that one.
Okay, so then if you're trying to persuade me,
I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm trying to make sure you
Get you-
understand that you
I
don't have
think
to
I
pick
do.
one Superman movie. He could have been paid the most in more than just that one.
Okay, I get that as well, but it's like, okay, so then what? Superman 1 and 2 would be tied because they were filming that kind of together. So that would be like he was paid the same to do 2 movies worth. So that would be technically that'd be it. But still, I think he wrote Superman 4, so he'd have more. And by that point, I think he was well off. So he probably, I'd say Superman 4 still. Superman 4, and then the second Swamp Thing movie, and the Supergirl in her movie.
Okay. That's incorrect. Blake, would you like to go for it?
There we
I'm
go.
gonna
Well,
go. I'm gonna go. Superman, Superman 2, Superman 3, and I'm gonna go Superman 4. But I'm also gonna go Supergirl, and I'm gonna go with. Actually, I might lock that in because I think maybe Arcane could have gotten paid more. On
So
the
you
Swamp Thing
think you
movie
said
than-
Superman, Superman 2, Superman
No,
3,
no, no, no,
Superman
no,
4,
no, no. I
Supergirl.
did not. No, 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 no. I said Superman, Superman 2, 3, and 4, and then Supergirl.
Dakota, you're hearing what I'm hearing, right?
Superman 2, 3, and 4, and then Supergirl.
No, no.
That's what you just said.
That's
Blake.
what you just said.
No, I said Superman 2, 3, and 4.
So not the
Okay.
first one. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
not the first one.
So Superman 2, 3, and 4, and
And
Supergirl.
Supergirl.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. You're incorrect. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
Superman 3 was the only one.
That's the only one?
And I can tell you who is top if you would like to know for all of them. So the first one, it was Marlon Brando
Uh-huh.
and Lex, which Gene Hackman.
Right, I knew that one.
Number 2, Gene Hackman reprised his role, so he got paid again more than Superman.
Okay.
Number 3 was Superman. Number 4 was Gene Hackman again because he reprised his role again.
That scumbag, of course he did. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to Supergirl. Supergirl, it was the main villain. She got paid the most.
Okay.
And then we'll go to Swamp Thing movies. Swamp Thing, in the first one, it was Arcane. And the second one, it was Arcane and Alice. They tied.
I knew it. I knew it was probably Arcane. Okay.
All right.
And thanks for watching, Ezra. Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Yep.
All right. Whose turn is it? Blake's? It's
Blake.
Blake's.
Yeah. Let's go miscellaneous 400.
Who were the kids / act? Whoa. Okay, forget that.
Hey, yo.
Forget it.
Oh, no,
Forget
I
it.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, go again. Sorry. I duplicated.
Wow. All
My
right.
fault.
Let's go Superman.
again.
Let's go Heroes and Villains 400.
Okay. Who were the only 4 characters to be in 4 or more of these movies?
Wait, who were the only 4 characters
Four
to be in
characters.
4 or more of these movies? Okay.
Correct.
So we got Jimmy Olsen. We've got. Wait. Jimmy's in. Superman is in 4 of the movies. Lois is in 4 of the movies. And Perry White is in 4 of the movies.
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
Okay, that is correct.
All right. Bet.
I put their names even though you don't need them.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, Dakota, it is your turn.
Good Eyes and Ears 400.
Good Eyes and Ears 400. Why were 30 minutes cut out of Superman 4? And this is multiple choice.
Oh, you've got this.
Budget. B, to have more screenings during the day. C, directors chose it. Or D, they thought it was bad.
I'm pretty sure Dakota looked this up actually on our reaction.
Oh, really?
I did, like, actually for that movie, but I swear, all of these kind of fit, don't they? Like, technically they cut for the budget because VHS, they couldn't, like, when they eventually put it out to, like, more people to watch. Like, when it was in theaters, it was the full thing. But then when they had to actually, like, put it to VHS, they cut it down to specifically an hour, 30 minutes, which meant they had to cut out some stuff, and they cut the stuff out, presumably for budget, because if you go to 2 hours, then that's longer or whatever. But, yeah, so, well, to have more screens during the day, no. Well, yeah, the director chose it to be like that, to be like, okay, well, hey, let's cut this stuff out so it, you know. And they thought it was... well, they also thought that, too. And they, like, even Christopher Reeve, I think, was like, this is not good. So it's like... I would say budget specifically. Like, if it was the root problem, it was budget.
Okay, that is incorrect.
Yeah.
Blake, would you like to take a shot at it?
I'm maybe they. No, let's say to have more screenings during the day.
That is correct. Do you know why?
Do I know why?
Yeah.
No.
So the reason they wanted to have more screenings during the day, and this was the producing choice, to knock it down to an hour 30, they thought it was a fantastic movie and they thought they had a gem on their hands. So they said, let's fit more screenings so we can make more money.
Oh,
That was their answer.
wow. I'm guessing they didn't
They
even
thought
watch
they
it.
thought they had a gold mine. Yeah, well, here we are.
So they cut stuff from the movie to.
They said they wanted to cut stuff from the movie to knock it down to an hour and 30 from 2 hours so that they can have it more screenings during the day.
Oh,
So they can make more money off of it.
ridiculous.
Okay. Okay. That may
All right.
kinda, but whatever.
All right, Blake, it's your chance.
Okay.
Even though you're quite ahead, but that's all right. There is the final fact tile, which could lose it all. We'll see.
This is true. Let's go. Let's finish off the category. Good eyes and ears, 200.
Okay, finishing it off. Which 2 movies did John Williams compose rather than coming back for Superman 2? Now, you only need one, but you get to guess for both.
Wait, what? Which 2 movies did John Williams compose?
I feel
So
like
you get, as
some of
long
the-
as you get one of
I don't know
them,
where this
but you get to
kinda-
guess for both.
But okay, well he composed Superman 1 and then he
But yes,
composed
but what was the reason for him leaving Superman 2, like not coming back?
Oh.
the other movie he was making at the time.
Yes.
Oh, man,
Wait,
what? Oh my god.
So the
that's-
question is why did he not come back?
What other movie was he?
What
doing?
other movie was he working on and is not in the 7?
Oh.
That's why you get to guess 2, but you only need 1.
John
So if you get either, you're
Williams.
correct.
I wouldn't know this, so good luck.
He was the
Um,
composer. Yeah, that's why it says compose.
Wait, Superman came out in 78. I'm trying to remember. Was he doing he wasn't doing Star Wars, was he? I don't remember if he did Star Wars. That's bad. Let's go Star Wars.
You get to guess 2. But
Oh,
also you got to tell me an exact Star Wars number if you're going to guess Star
well,
Wars.
if it came out in 78, I think they were on Star Wars 6 at that point. So my first guess will be Star Wars 6. My second guess, oh my gosh, what came out around 78? Maybe, I honestly don't know. Back to the Future or something. I don't know.
Okay, incorrect for both of those.
Dang
Back to the Future didn't come out till 1985, but that's all right.
Well, Dakota gets a guess now, right?
Dakota does get to guess.
I mean, my guess is just going to be Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So, unless, no, I'll say that. Why not? No, because I also want to say no. We'll do it. Just those 2, even though I know one. Well, no, one of them's wrong. Oh, whatever. That's what I was going to say. Indiana Jones.
No!
Empire Strikes Back is one of them, so he gets the points. And then
Dang
Indiana
it.
Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That was the other one I was thinking. I was like Indiana Jones, but I was like, no, that's not that early. But I was like, well, no, it is. But
It is. It is.
It is. Okay.
All right, Dakota, your choice.
Superman's World 400. All right, here we go.
Which is the only Superman movie in which Jimmy Olsen does not get saved by Superman?
Oh, that's so easy.
Superman movie, specifically Superman.
Yes, it is
movie.
one of the 4. It is
Okay.
one of the 4.
Well, otherwise it'd be so easy.
Yeah.
He doesn't get saved by Superman and Supergirl.
Superman's not in Supergirl, so there
Supergirl,
you go.
right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to remember. Yeah, well, definitely Superman 2. He does it. Superman 3 for sure. I remember that. Superman. Oh, Superman 4.
That is incorrect. Blake,
Oh, whoops.
Superman 2.
also incorrect.
What?
What is
Nope, you're wrong then.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dakota. It was Superman 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're wrong because he gets
Okay,
saved
I'll
at
add
the dam.
points to you.
He gets saved at the dam in Superman 1, and then in Superman 2 he gets saved at Superman 3. There's the fire in Smallville.
Yeah.
And he
My
gets
bad. I
saved.
just forget. There's too many answers. All right. I don't have them
Yeah.
written down, so I'm just going with you guys. All right. Who was that
Yeah.
choice? That was Dakota's
That was
choice. So
mine,
Blake, it
yeah.
is your choice.
Let's
He's coming back.
Let's go. I'll leave him the 400 in the movie releases.
Who
So
knows?
let's-
You might get it wrong and he could steal it. But go ahead.
Yeah, we'll see. But let's go miscellaneous 300.
How old was Helen Slater when she was cast as Supergirl?
Let's say
Is there a range, or is it just
Nope.
no, you gotta
You
get
just
exactly?
you just gotta get it.
Oh
You
boy.
just gotta get it.
Alright, good luck.
18.
That is correct.
Oh, let's go. No way.
She was 18 years old.
Talk about a shot in the dark.
All right, Dakota, this is your chance.
Yep, the 400 movie releases.
What continent was the first to see Superman 2 4 months before any other continent?
Oh boy. I want to say Australia just to. Australia.
Incorrect. Blake?
Oh man, continent. Okay.
Yes, not country.
Yep, that makes it easier.
I tried to make it more broad. Yes.
Country would be impossible.
Yep.
Okay,
Did
continent.
I don't remember.
'Cause
Because I thought that was also something like I saw some weird. When we looked stuff up, we actually came across that, but I don't remember.
It is a strange fact, I will tell you that. I feel like this
The-
would drive sales down. But
Oh, I got a second guess. It's dumb, but
I don't know.
I might let you have it with the score difference here, Dakota. I might let you have it.
I'm just gonna go
It's-
South America.
Incorrect. Dakota, what is your second guess? I'll
the
give you a second chance here.
Arctic. Just
Okay, well, then no. Europe is the correct answer.
Oh, I
Okay.
thought that was too bait. Actually, that's why I
I
didn't
would
say it.
say North America was the most bait, but yeah.
Well, but yeah, sure, but
All right. Blake, your question.
oh yeah. Let's go behind the scenes 200.
What movie was this person talking about in an interview when this person said, "The less said about blank, the better"?
What movie was this person?
And it's obviously one of the 7.
Wait, so what are you wanting me to answer? The movie or the person?
The movie. I don't need the person. I just didn't want to tell you the person because it might give it away. Might not.
The less said about blank, the better. I'm just gonna go.
Well,
Let's go Christopher Reeve on Superman 4.
That is correct.
Oh yes.
So that was during his autobiography, and that was the only line mentioning Superman 4. The less said about Superman 4, the better. That's what he said.
Crazy.
So there you go. All right, Dakota, it's your chance.
the Heroes and Villains 300.
What movie caused the company to scrap a Spider-Man film that was in pre-production at the time due to this box office bomb?
Scrap a Spider-Man film that was in pre-production at the time. Box office bomb. It would have been. It would have been.
Yes, it probably starts with an S.
Yeah.
Given the fact every movie in this category is an S, but yes.
Yes.
Well,
One thing
the
too.
Return of something, but
Return of
Incorrect. Blake?
Superman 4?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding. Superman 4. They were also working on a Spider-Man film in pre-production, and it got canceled due to the massive failure of Superman 4. So
That was my other one. I was just like,
I'm surprised you guys didn't go for Supergirl, given the fact she merged with Sony later on. But
Yeah.
I was
forgot about
kind of.
that.
I was like, that happens later. That's not what's happening.
Yeah.
now.
you're correct.
Also,
You're
well,
correct.
now I'm thinking Swamp Thing was a dumb guess because Batman released that year, and that
Kind of brought it
so-
back.
that brought everything back. So yeah, should have been.
Oh well. Blake,
Alright.
it is your guess.
Let's go 200 and miscellaneous.
Other than Swamp Thing, what other movie on this list was Wes Craven approached to direct?
Ooh. That's interesting. I didn't know this.
I hope you didn't know a lot of these.
Well, I knew some of the fun facts, but this
Okay.
one I have no idea.
I'm losing. I'm going to say stupid answers that aren't gonna make sense. So.
All right. Well, obviously I can
Yeah, I
eliminate.
might double your points.
Obviously, I can eliminate Superman 1 and 2 because those had already come out. Wait, or maybe wait. Other than Swamp Thing, what other movie on this list was?
I was gonna say it
Western?
doesn't say after.
He could have been approached before. Yeah. Actually, let's go. Let's go Superman.
Incorrect. Dakota, would you like to steal?
Well, the fact that he did Swamp Thing 1, but then didn't do Swamp Thing 2 was probably he was approached but didn't want to do it. So I'd just say Swamp Thing 2 was he was asked about it but he didn't do it.
Also incorrect.
Okay.
That was my first mindset as well. I was like, it could be. Oh,
He was approached to direct Superman 4: The Quest for Peace, and he turned it down.
good move. Good move.
Yep. All right, we got 5 left, and then the final fact tile.
Movie release is 300.
What film was released in Japan 4 months before the release in the USA? And no, it is not the same film we talked about earlier, because obviously that was Europe.
Crap, I don't even remember what one that was.
That was Superman 2, right? I believe so. But this one is going to be. I imagine Swamp Thing would do all right. It's kind of like a monster movie that maybe Japan would like. So Swamp Thing.
No. All right, Blake, it's your chance.
Superman 2.
Also incorrect. Supergirl,
Huh.
released in Japan
Okay.
6 months before the release in the US or anywhere else. All right. Blake, I believe it is your turn.
Okay. Let's go. Let's do heroes and villains for 200.
Who were the original 2 villains of Superman 3? Guess 2, you only need 1.
Oh, so there were originally other villains, and it wasn't gonna be Ross and Gus. Okay,
Correct.
interesting. All right, one of my guesses is gonna be. Let's go Bizarro. And my second guess will be I don't know, Brainiac?
You got the one. Dakota, I'll give you a chance. If you guess the other one, you also get the points.
I mean, I was. It's so Lex Luthor coded. I was like, with the people that are there now, I assumed that they would have wanted Lex back on there, but something happened. So, Lex.
That is incorrect. It was going to be Brainiac and Mr. Mxyzptlk. In the movie, Superman was also going to meet Supergirl, which would go right into her movie, but that did not happen.
Oh, interesting.
Alrighty. Dakota, is your turn?
300. Superworld.
300, Superman's World. Here we go.
Yeah.
How many lines does Nuclear Man have in Superman 4, The Quest for Peace? Now, there are multiple choice. Is it 12, 5, 11, or 15?
Must kill Superman. There's probably not many.
11.
That is correct. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh!
Okay.
Alrighty. Blake, it is your
What is my score
shot.
right now? Oh, I'm so
17
far behind.
It's fine. It's fine. The final fact, you can double your points.
My
so.
camera's covering my points.
Oh, your
so
score?
didn't
Oh,
see it.
okay.
I'm so far behind.
It's all right. You can double your points at the end.
Yeah, it's funny.
All right, Blake. Pick one. Which one?
Let's go Superman's World 200.
Which Superman movie does not have the Fortress of Solitude in it?
Oh.
Superman 3.
It is the. That is correct.
I was going to say, because he's in Smallville for most of it, and he's evil, so.
All right, Dakota.
When was it in 4? I didn't remember.
I don't know, actually.
I don't know when it was, but it wasn't. So there
Okay.
it was in Superman 4. I just don't know when.
Yeah, I don't
Fair
remember
enough.
him going there in 4.
200.
All right. What was the first film to have a rating of PG-13 out of these?
Well, it wasn't Swamp Thing. That has nudity
Right,
in
yeah.
it.
Well, I think. Well, Supergirl.
Incorrect. Blake?
Okay.
Oh, PG-13, because they were probably rated PG. Okay. Also, maybe it was Swamp Thing, actually.
Incorrect.
Oh, I know that's wrong because I
Ah.
brought it up during the movie.
Dang it.
It was not till the Return
Oh,
of
it was
Swamp Thing when
Return
it
of
got a
Swamp
lower
Thing.
rating. All right. Well,
Interesting.
enter your valid wagers. Dakota, just to make it interesting, you can tie them. Is the best you could, if you bet all your money. So there you go.
Go all in.
How much would you like to bet?
I mean, we'll go all in.
All right, Blake.
I'm going all in. Because why not?
Yeah.
Oops.
Make it interesting.
4,000. All right, here we go.
Here's where I lose.
Last question.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get past this screen.
And
There
how
we
are
go.
we doing this here? Okay.
So you guys both give an answer,
Uh-huh.
and whoever's closer wins. How many days were the creators of the Return of Swamp Thing given to make the movie?
Oh my gosh. So whoever's closer, is that how we're doing it?
Whoever is closer
Oh.
wins the game. And you guys can both give your answers at separate times. I don't care if you think that makes it worse, then
To make the movie.
Fine.
So like writing it, filming it, and editing it?
correct.
Dang. Okay.
Well,
I mean, I got an
it might
idea.
have been just filming it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay. I'm gonna go 90.
Dakota?
Oh, I kind of want to do like the scummy thing and say like 91. just 'cause I was thinking closer to like
How many?
3 months, which would have been 120 days.
90?
Or 90? Is that 90?
Yeah, yeah.
30, 60, 90.
That's why
So,
I said 90.
I cannot
shoot,
take
okay.
I cannot take 90.
Okay. Dang, okay. The other one I was thinking we'll go underdog for it because I think it'll be fun. We'll go like 2 months,
So 60 days? Is that what
60
you're saying?
days. Maybe a little less than that, but yeah, 60.
Dakota wins!
No! How many?
As
Oh! They had 30 days?
30 days?
but they
I mean-
did it in 7 or 27.
They had a
So-
month.
And
Wow.
they did it in 27. They had to get it out before Batman. So
Oh,
Yeah.
my
that was their
God.
main point.
That was what I was thinking of as well. Was like, but that's
So
fast,
Dakota's
though.
our winner. Yay!
Crazy.
The comeback. The
Sure,
comeback.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And we'll be back for when the next 7 movies or whatever.
Right. That'll be fun.
Will you like add on like still do previous trivia with like this stuff, or is it just gonna be the?
It'll probably
That'll
just
be
be the
great.
newer movies. There might be
Newer
a
movies.
category with the old ones, but I pretty much
Hmm.
used all the ones I could on this one. So
All right. I mean, if you
Alright.
do callbacks, so see if
Yeah.
you remember it. Then
See
that'd
if
be
you
fun as
remember.
well. Yeah, yeah.
yep.
All right. Well,
So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you, Curtis, for that. That was fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, this was a fun stream. For those of you watching on playback, thank you guys for watching. And obviously, shout out Ezra for showing up in the live chat for most of it, which was awesome. And and also, shout out Jay as well for showing up for a little bit too. That was awesome. Yeah, we're gonna be back very, very soon. Hopefully, this coming up week with Batman 89 and Batman Returns, maybe. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next time. That's it.
Break. I'm gonna live like a king by doing my thing. Hey,
Doing it
I am on break. I'm gonna live like free. I'm gonna do it like me. Yeah, yeah. I am on break.